There I am. I'm talking and nobody's here. I hope you guys could hear me at least. Nope, you didn't. If you didn't hear me, that's funny. I do that all the time. Now stay. Goodness. I'm having all kinds of issues. You're killing me, Jared. If you didn't hear me the first time, you cracked me up. Anyways, I got 2 for tonight. We're going to do the stairways in the forests. We did part 1, but I never could find part 2. I finally found it. It's in there. I just kept passing it. So I'm going to play part 1 again and then part 2. Next week, we're going to do Strange Highness. I did a Gemma from last night. And then some people come in. That's the plans for tonight. And chit-chat it all you want. That's what it's all about. I'm just basically a mediator tonight. What else? Oh, I do have a couple things when some more people come in. And we'll go from there. Hope you're having a nice evening. Like I said, I've been on the phone. It's been an interesting night. Hello, sir. And you got a couple things I want to say before we get started, but I want to make sure everybody hears it. How many we've got in there? 3. But I don't want to repeat myself. I hate repeating myself. It's bad enough I go on and on at the end of the night before I even sign off. So I get to rambling like somebody I know. Probably because I hang around with you too much. Anyways, hey, Andrew, what's up? Oh, you're in New Jefferson, Ohio? Wow. Cool breeze. Kind of hot here, bud. Ohio's feeling the heat today. I just went outside just before I got on the phone, and man, it's still muggy as crap. Hope you're safe out there, good man. Anyways, I got a couple things I want to say. So no big deal. As people come in, I will ramble and kind of keep the chat alive if I can. And switch over here. I got everything going. I got the video ready. Gemma's editing her Monday's video, I believe now, or was. So I don't have that yet unless she posts it while we're on. I'll check in a little bit. And I'll pop that up so you know what Monday's video is. She told me and I forgot. And then she told us Friday and I forgot again. So I've been running around like a crazy man like always. I hope everybody's putting up with the heat. Beauty all around me. Is there any staircases in that forest that lead to nowhere? Because that topic is slowly coming back for some reason. And it's been interesting. So other than that, we're going to do those. And as we're up to 5 people now, so I'm going to go ahead and start. No. I know what's going on in the news right now. I have family over there, so I'm very aware of what's going on. In fact, I kind of knew before they even announced it. So I'd like, according to Gemma's rules, no politics if possible. And if you come in, just be careful what you say. This is a paranormal kind of spiritual entertainment channel. It does mess with the algorithm. I've proven that a couple times to people. But we try to keep it. Religion is hard enough because religion is very much a part of the paranormal world in a lot of ways. So, not all religions. So sometimes you have to touch on that subject. But politics tends to divide people and get people riled up. So we kind of try to keep everybody level here. So just, we're aware. I'm aware. So it's all good, okay? I appreciate it. And there are plenty of political channels on right now discussing what's going on. So don't be afraid. If you'd rather go talk about that, I understand. I have a lot of thoughts of that myself, but not here. It really does mess with the algorithm. Plus, I always get a yellow dones. And if you don't know what a yellow dones is, it just is, they either take away your monetization or you just don't make as much money. And this is Gemma's channel and it is her rule. So I just want to make sure, because there was some static and a little smart a little smart aleck last time. He's kind of a regular, but he's not a regular. And he just made one comment and left. And he likes to write me anyways. If he's watching now, I don't care. It's just, these are the rules. This is the way it is here. Because believe me, Gemma's got her point of views too. So, and she really does it really keeps her mouth shut sometimes when when politics comes up. So let's just keep it neutral, have fun, have a good time. That's what this channel is all about anyways, especially my streams. And we'll just sit back, relax, enjoy each other's companies, and have a good night. Rock ledges, water contaminant, no actual stairs. Yeah, I know that. Probably a lot of rock ledges. Yeah, the contaminated. We have the same problem up north. Poor old Michigan. Flint, Michigan's still having water trouble. It's just a mess. But no actual stairs. Have you really looked? There might be. If you really go out there and look, you might stumble. I've actually found stairs. It was actually a stairway that ran up to a tree. It was weird. Right here by the river. I went back looking for it after I talked about it. Me and a friend went back to look for it one day. I met him at the gas station. We went and looked for it. Couldn't find it. It was gone. But we knew exactly where it was at because he was with me. I had to call his parents to get his number. Say, hey, man, I was talking about this. And he goes, oh, yeah, I remembered that. That was so weird. We went back. It was gone. We don't know if somebody tore it down. Didn't even look like there were signs that it was there. It was just creepy. He kind of looked at me and went, "This is exactly the spot, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure." Things change over years, but we're pretty sure we had the same spot. So I like this, and it's coming back for some reason. I've noticed a couple channels that I watch talk about it and bring it up. So those will be two good ones. Like I said, I'll replay the first one, then play the second one. Just guys, have fun and chat. Oops, I got a gnat in my room, driving me nuts. The heat here is crazy. How's everybody holding up? I'm sure, Jared, you're out there west. You're probably feeling it hard. But, I mean, are you just getting temperatures earlier now? They believe the earth has tilted because things are wacky. Gemma, I know my woods. Only 22 acres. Nothing, some squash evidence. Not lately, though. Interesting. Maybe the stairway scared them away. There's some weird stuff going on right now. Some really weird stuff going on. So just keep your eyes peeled, especially out west. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe they saw a staircase, and one of them went up it and never came back, and they all freaked out and booked. Have you thought about that? Or maybe they went on vacation to another dimension. Or maybe we're Gemma says, oh, excuse me. Hold on, I'm choking on myself. Gemma once said, what if they're coming here for vacation? I don't know why. It's crazy right now. If anything, they're coming here to watch a reality show. Oof. Yeah, well, like that's another political conversation we can get into, because China's into a lot of stuff because they're financially hurting. There are people, China government bad, China people, some bad, some just can't deal anymore. And I gotta watch that stuff because China watches this channel. They make a complaint about everything. There's a couple guys I watch, and both of them lived in China for a very long time, and they'll tell you their channel is all about exposing them. And they're great channels. I may post the links for them later and after the stream and comments so you guys can check them out. But they're good channels. Both these guys have been there for a long time. When they left there, one was from South Africa, and he wouldn't go back to South Africa. He talks about the horrors of that place. And they both came back to America. So it's, they're really neat to watch. They really touch on some subjects. It's amazing how much China really does control things because they have to. They want everything. I'll just leave it at that. Plus, I've been to Hong Kong. So, yeah, it's interesting. Anyways, yeah, I agree, Jared. But enough of that. But yeah, we're going to get started. We're down at 2. Thank you, Jared, for hanging around. I'll give it a couple minutes. I started at 11 because everybody didn't come in until 11. I know a lot of people come in and watch the replays. I do that so people can go back and look at her older videos. I've noticed since I've done this, some of the counts have gone up. Some of her, when you look at somebody's page, they give that most viewed or best uploads, whatever. And some of those are ones that we have done, and people have gone back and even viewed them more. So looked at the rest of stuff. So that's good. She needs that right now. It's bad. I know. Just watch, Jared. I know it's just me and you, but YouTube's always watching, especially small channels. I don't know why they're picking on us. Well, I know why they're picking on us, but I won't get into that either. For Gemma, that's why I haven't started a channel here yet. I was all set up I got videos and everything ready to go. I'm still debating here, or I still may release some here, but I think I'll do a lot of my stuff. Will probably go to Rumble. And I'm not ready. I might do a couple lives. I'm all set up, so Whatever. I don't speak. So you got me. But yeah, I'm talking to Jared. Who just? Oh, okay. Freak me out. I get these. Go away, go away. Sometimes I get my message. YouTube speaks Spanish too. Yes, they do. Actually, some of their biggest accounts. It amazes me. The Mexicans and the Brazil, South America stuff that comes out of those countries are crazy. And some of the paranormal stuff is insane. I figured it was close to that, but yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people are watching the news right now, so that's fine. And they should be. There's a lot going on. And I don't have a problem with that. And I'll start the first one here and probably about 25 after. Give a chance for everybody to come in, say hello to me. As you come in, if you're just sitting in the background, enjoy. I will start them here shortly. I always try to let at least a few people get in before I start them. That way I can say hi to the folks that do come in and say hi. I've been leaving my mic on sometimes during some of the videos, but it seems to bother somebody. But, I don't have to worry about, copyright because it's Gemma's channel. Somebody actually tried to strike me once because I was doing her videos on her channel. And I don't think they realized I was replaying her videos on her channel. I was laughing. I was like, no. Goofs. Oh, well. But yeah, like I said, she does have 11 o'clock video, 11 a.m. video for Monday. She hasn't posted it yet. As soon as she posts it, because I can't remember what it is. If she posts it during stream, I will make sure I pop it up either in between videos or afterwards so you folks know. No big deal. Also, donations always help. Everything goes to Gemma and the channel. She could use it. Now you're speaking French. Anyways, see what else. I should be here Wednesday night at 10. The next couple of weeks, I'll be going to 11 on Saturdays. Because usually that's when hey, Latroy, what's up, bud? Doesn't roll into 11:30 anyways. Last Saturday, it kind of was like, okay, it's 10 o'clock. I mean, I'm good. Hey, Mayhem, how are you? And we're, so from now on, for a bit, Saturdays will be 11. And then I'll hopefully get back to midnights because I kind of like my Saturday midnight show. But I'm just trying to get stuff done. And the doctor's but I'm almost there, so I'm good. And I personally don't care what half the doctors say anyway. How you doing, Mayhem? Anyways, so I'll start it here in a couple minutes. We got 5 in. The first one I played a while back ago, probably around the time I started doing this. But it's Stairways in the Forests. It's about those unknown staircases. I'm going to play part 1, but I couldn't find part 2. But I found part 2. So we're going to do them both in a row. Part 1 is let me make sure, is 37 minutes long. But I cut out the end because a lot of that stuff doesn't apply anymore. And this is a 4-year-old video. And then a year or so after that, let me make sure. She did part 2, which was 3 years ago. I would say a few months later. And we didn't get to watch that one because for some reason I couldn't find it. And I finally found it. So we're going to watch that one too. And it's only 16 minutes long. And then we'll run a little chat for a while and we'll see how the night goes. Recovering from 2. Whoa, buddy. Mayhem. Well, lots of love to you, a lot of prayer and light to you. Excuse me, sir. Okay, let me get back down to my first one. I'll keep you in my thoughts, my good man. That's hard to recover. So, but you can do it. Just be strong. May I ask how old you are, sir? It's tough stuff. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If Edna shows up, she'll join you on that one. I won't go into me, so a lot of prayers, a lot of love to you. You know, take it slow, take it easy. Heal. 57. Ooh, you're a female. Okay, sorry about that. I'm not like Gemma. I'm not very good at picking up that. So 57. Ooh, we're hanging there. Stay strong. And keep the faith if you got it. And if you don't have faith, get it. You can have faith. And if not in the big one, you can have faith in yourself. Heal slow. Make sure you do the right things. You know, make sure you're honest with your doctors about medications and stuff. If they're good for you, if they're bugging you, if you have side effects. I'm telling you now, some of these doctors tend to push some stuff and it doesn't work so good or makes you feel crappy. And then they proceed to tell you that's the best stuff. No. If it bothers you, make sure you tell them. If you're having problems with anything, you tell them. You pay them. They don't pay you. Where your insurance does if you have insurance. Feel for you. Yeah. Thanks for, yeah, really. That is a lot to share. So thank you. Thank you, Latra. I'm going to, you're that old? Really? Latra, I didn't know you were that old. Wow. Yeah, take it slow. Just go with the word. Yeah, I'm sure it does. And medicine, Medicare. Okay. That's basically what I have. I also have an insurance supplement that I like. They've actually been really good with me. So I've been really fortunate. Just hang tough. A lot of prayers for you. That's, 2 is hard enough. 1 is bad. 2 is hard. So just take it slow. Go, when it comes to rehab, I will say rehab is always good. Take your time. Let them get you going slowly but surely. I don't know why I'm doing that. Wow, I had a big old thing in the middle of my screen. Oh, I'm sure it hurts, babe. I know it does. Yeah, 4,000 plus ambulance. Oh, I believe that. Yes, I believe that. That was about mine, almost mine, when I went a few weeks back when I got real sick and they had to use an ambulance because I'm the only one who drives in the house. My son wasn't home. So we had to call an ambulance. Pop's 92. So, yeah, it hurts, Latra. It's a bite in the butt. Oh, man. Oh, I bet. I bet. Yeah, I've had minis, which aren't good either. So yeah, I know. I got sent from the doctor's office to the hospital in an ambulance once, maybe 3 miles. Oh yeah, I'm literally right up the street from one of my favorite places. Well, I go to the hospital most of the time, anyways. But I go to other hospitals. But the one from me is maybe 10 minutes. Not going through this again. Yeah, that's what I said. I didn't want to go through it again. And I've been through bone cancer. Luckily, still clean on that. But I have other issues. I have Tourette's and stuff in it since I was 2, and they didn't know what it was for years. And now it's caused other issues because I'm in constant motion. It's kind of like having Parkinson's at the age of 2 and living with it all your life. More intense, though, I think. No, Parkinson's gets pretty bad, though, so I really can't say that. I don't like to say it. I shouldn't say that because I know Parkinson's patients are in some of the offices I'm in, and it's rough. No time we got here. I'm not trying to be rude. Convenient. The hospital and cemetery. I literally have I'm literally 3 houses away from the cemetery. Literally, my mom. I can actually almost during the winter when the leaves are gone, I can literally see where my mom's buried and my little brother. So yeah, I'm literally right next to it. I just told them to throw me in a box and just not even in a cemetery. There's forest. There's nothing but forest that it leads to the old Tangia. And you go through the forest and then you get to the old Tangia River. I said, just bury me somewhere in that forest. Put a marker so people know I'm there. So the kids can find me and I'll be good. I was going to be cremated, but I decided against it. They gave me strong antidepressants to keep me still because I can't stay still either. Yeah. Oh, man, they've tried. I've actually woken up, because it's so bad, I've actually woken up in the middle of surgeries and went flatline. So, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But, yeah, I know the story. So apparently you know the story too. So I got you. Let me get this one set up and ready to go. And like I said, on her Monday video, stop. Now this one is on an iPhone because this is when she first really started, doing stuff. So be patient with it. I will blow up this picture when I start it. It'll make it a little better to see. I mean, it's not that small. The sound's good on it, so I shouldn't have to give a sound warning. Sometimes her videos are really low, but this one's got really good sound, so that's good. Like I said, this is kind of a long one, but probably about the last couple of minutes I'll probably cut off because a lot of it's just stuff that she's got coming up that's done past. And yeah, that stuff's not good. So I take short term to help with things, but kind of help keep you calm while you're going through after surgery and stuff. But don't try to stay on it too long. If you got a good strong will, don't let them keep you on it too long. But yeah, unless you took yourself off it already. It was just in the hospital. Okay, good. Yeah. Good. Yeah, that stuff. Yeah, see, I won't let them. Sorry for the thing. It's because I had another screen up. I do a lot. I'm going to have to start running off the other screen. I got to hook them up. Yeah, I figured you said just in the hospital. Usually I don't do painkillers. Well, a long time ago, right before I found out I had bone cancer, before they fixed it. Yeah, that's my problem right now. So I know that story. I quit, and then I sneak one here and there, but I've been real good. So I got me a few. Not sponsored by these people, but this thing has been a big help. I just thought it's like a big cigar. It's got great flavors. I've got a mint in here now. It's perfect. I can fiddle with it. It's a magnet, so you can put it on the mat and spin around. It's nice to have. And it really does help with that sensation. I've been on it. What I use for emergency pain relief now is Tramadol. If I cough, it's great pain. Oh yeah, I broke 2 ribs. I know that story. But yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, I don't do pain meds. Except I'll do them a little bit before surgery, just get my body used to them. Then after surgery, I'm usually off them within 4 days. I just stop taking them. They mess my stomach up. I never have gotten along with them. But like I said, a long time ago, they had me on Oxycontin. And for about a month and a half, I didn't know who I was, what I was doing. I was married and had kids, and it was not good. And I told never, ever again. So the only time I touch it pretty much anymore is, like I said, a little bit before surgery because, I'm in pain. And then it's usually within 3 to 4 days I'm done. I keep a couple extras just in case the pain gets really bad after, but I never ever use them. I end up throwing them away. But I have a pretty good pain threshold, so I don't like to say, oh, my pain's worse than your pain, because everybody deals with pain differently. But I have a pretty good threshold, so I'm pretty good. Nerve pain meds only, nothing was strong. Yeah, that just kind of helped take the edge off. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. No, I've done that in a couple situations, but it's only take edge off. It's low dose. I'll hold off on the jokes. Yeah, so yeah, I don't do that stuff. Yeah, I was even in the hippie days, in my punker days, wasn't much into that stuff. I had fibromyalgia on top of it, and my mom had it. Suppose mine have it, but I got so much going on, it just whatever. I had right now the biggest problem I'm having is the AS. I have ankylosing spondylitis, which is a fusion of the vertebrae and the spinal cord. And that's when you see these old guys all hunched up. Does women get it too? But they also have a couple other different ones. But yeah, it's starting to show. I think I got it from my dad because he's starting to. Over the years, I've noticed him starting to do the curve, and his age and being a very diabetic, they won't do surgery and stuff. They wouldn't even do surgery on his knee at his age, and that was before he even turned 90. Still can only sleep sitting up. Yeah, I've been in that situation, and that sucks. And now I think sometimes that's when I get my best sleep is sitting up. But I rock. I trash my bed. I find it all over the room because I rock so hard in my bed. I broke cribs when I was a kid. But anyways, enough of that. I wish you the best of luck. Keep us in touch and hang out for a while. Enjoy the chat. Relax. I'm going to start this first video. All you folks watching in the background, thank you for showing up. The first one should be a really good one. Like I said, it's an older one, so it'll be fun to look at her. We like to nitpick at her just because we love her. Thank you, sure. Hang out, enjoy, relax. You're probably in the bed anyway, so I know. Oh my God, my bed beyond trash. Yeah, you should see me. Looked like I had there are nights that literally looks like I had a fight with 5 people. It's just all over the place. I woke up one day, I rocked so hard, I literally slid the mattress off the bed. I was sleeping at a tilt. I slept. I woke up. That's the thing. And then I wake up. My mind's fresh, but my body's hosed, but it still doesn't want to stop. So, but anyways, let's get this one started now that we're at 11:33. I try to start them around 11, between 20 after and 11 and the 30 when I start. So yeah, let's do that. Let's get this baby started. I will be in chat. I'll probably turn my mic off. I get the coughing and stuff. I really my allergies. It's like I hope that's another thing, folks. I hope you're dealing with the heat. I know a lot of us in the Midwest, in the middle of the country, up to the East Coast, almost to the East Coast, but they're going to start feeling it tomorrow. But I know most of this country's in a big heat wave. I know some places that usually don't hit the hundreds are going to hit the hundreds. So, stay cool, be comfortable. If you do have respiratory problems, limit your time outside, heed the heat warnings. The air out there ain't the greatest, especially in some of the big cities. So just take care of yourselves. Keep cool, keep comfortable, relax, and enjoy it while you got it. 103 here today. Yeah. I don't know. I asked Jared, if you're still in here, if you haven't left, let me know. How hot did you guys get down in Texas, Latro? Because I know you guys were like cooking. You probably could have cooked on your driveway. Oh, you're in Indiana. Yeah, I know you guys got it. You guys got to hit heat before we did. Now, we started getting muggy this afternoon, and we hit, I think, 92. We're at 79 now, so we cooled off, but it is muggy. I mean, you go out there, and it takes your breath away. We're supposed to be in 100. We could hit 100 tomorrow. So, and that actually is a record. And they're saying it's supposed to be like that all week here. So, like I said, just hunker down. Don't go out unless you have to. I know a lot of people have to work outside, so I get it. I actually would be working outside in my day. So we were 95 today. Really? That's all? I think you guys would be a lot hotter than that. But I know up in the like Kansas and stuff and the Dakotas, they almost got to like 100. They were in the 90s. The 73 muggy. Now you're feeling what I'm feeling right now. Because I think what I say, we were 79. So we're still a tad bit warmer than you. That's odd. That just shows you that heat shift in east. Because they said the East Coast would start to feel it. Heck, they're saying clear up in Maine and we'll actually feel that heat. So it'll be interesting. Oh, wow, look at there, mayhem. I lived in Kokomo for 4 years. So, yeah, I'd like to have lived in Ohio, too. That's where I'm at, just so you know, mayhem. I'm in Ohio. I'm about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, about 20 minutes, actually, depending on which way I'd go, from Ohio State University campus. I'm up in Worthington. Just north. Just north. I used to live in Ohio, Southeast Ohio. Yay! See? That's how higher people we get around. People make fun of Ohio, and I really don't understand what the big joke is about. Yeah, some crazy stuff goes on here. And the paranormal, paranormally, Ohio is a pretty weird and wacky place. But then again, most of America in this world is. Always laugh when people say, oh, my state's more haunted than your state. Now, I think we're all about equal. The crazy crap that goes on anywhere. Because we're weird. I don't know, but I've lived here all my life. I know this state like the back of, well, it's changed a lot, but I still know how to get around this whole state. And we used to go out and run this whole state. But I grew up in the Far East Cleveland, hold a degree from U of Cincinnati. Yeah, he's been all over the place. Chris Jarvis, if you know who Chris Jarvis is, he's from Cincy. I used to live down there in Klein, where he is. I had a Bonanza I ran for about 1.5 years in Harrison, Ohio, right there on the border of Indiana. So, yeah. I'm trying to get back home. It's going to take a bit. Yeah, it's going to take time. Just relax. I take it you're still in the hospital? If you're still in the hospital, you're paying for it. Enjoy it. Now, see, Riverside has changed their food. I actually like the hospital food there, man. They treat you like they treated me like a queen. The one I was in 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks now, maybe 5. I came in through, emergency and had some issues down there. And I'm like a regular. A lot of them know me by name. And I get up in my room and they usually don't put me with a roommate because of my rocking. It freaks people out. Because sometimes I won't pay attention to what I'm doing and I'll start rocking and people freak out, especially in the hospital. So they always try to give me a private room where they couldn't give me a private room. So I had somebody I had to bunk with. And it's funny. I'm laying there and all of a sudden the head nurse walks. The big wig comes in and hands me her card. Well, Mr. Davis, if you have any problems, you do not hesitate to call me. Okay. And she leaves and we talk a little bit and she leaves. He's like, damn, what'd you do to get that kind of service? I go, I'm a regular. And he starts laughing. Been put since June 3rd. Been put since June 10th. Oh, man. No, no, you're home. Good. You mean going back home? I get it. Yeah, I'm glad you're home. Yeah, I didn't mind. I liked. Well, see, I do everything here. My dad's 92. My son is 32. Me and my son, I turned 62 in September. Then a week after me, he turns 32. So it's kind of weird. And we're all living in the same. So you got 3 generation men. He's 32. I'm 62, and Dad is 92. But anyways, he works, and he's young. He does his own thing. He's single, and so I do a lot of it around here. So when I get in the hospital, I suck up the attention. So, but yeah, when I'm usually within like 3 days, I'm ready to come home, depending on how the nurses are. I had one nurse that was just a little, but I also see stuff in the hospital. I see the things that follow people, and I always see something in the hospital. Plus, a consistently a black-eyed kid who dresses like Dennis the Menace, really wears bib overalls and a red and white striped shirt. For a while there, I was seeing him with a little girl and another little boy, but I haven't seen them lately. When I was there last time, I saw him once, and that was it. And I tried to get him on camera. I tried to take pictures. One day I spent 20 minutes chasing him around the hospital until he went into an area I couldn't get into. And it's weird because I tried to take pictures and there was nothing. But it's weird, and it upsets me because I literally followed this guy for like 20 minutes, kid. And it creeped me out. That's the first time he's ever creeped me out, because it was like every time I tried to take a picture. I don't like taking pictures in public because sometimes people get a little touchy about it. But I was trying to take a picture of him, and it either turns out like somebody would be standing in front of him, or it'd be like somebody passing by and give me blur. So I've been trying to prove to certain people that he exists, that I'm seeing this thing, because I've seen him in not just that hospital, in other hospitals and doctor's office. I saw him one day. I don't know if it's the same kid, but they look like about 12, 13 years old. It's creepy. Just watch the language, okay, Mayhem, because they get picky for us for some reason. I don't know why, but you're good. You can get away with it. Just don't go too explicit. Oh my God, the crap I've seen in the hospital this time I said something to the nurse, and she said, yes, it gets pretty creepy here at times. Oh, I'm sure it does. Oh, you're good, ma'am. Don't worry about it. I always have to say something because I also have people that watch that will say something. So, so you're good. You're all good. I slipped quite a few times myself. So don't even worry about it. I just gotta give the warning. But yeah, I see stuff. Some of the things that I've seen in hospitals, Gemma knows, some of these folks know, it's creepy. I actually saw a wide-eyed girl in the hospital. That was a trip. But if you want to hear about stuff like that, you have to come on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock when we do spooky time, because I try to save those for then. But yeah, it was pretty creepy, and she actually spoke to me. And it was pretty creepy. She told me that if I saw her again, it would be good. It was creepy the way she said it too. I started to release, and I don't get scared easy, but she kind of tweaked the nerve a little bit. Anyways, let me get started on this video. You guys keep talking in chat. Anybody and everybody that's watching in the background, please enjoy. The first one, like I said, is a little long, but I will probably shave off quite a bit at the end because a lot of stuff is kind of hearsay now because it's like 3 years old. So here we go. Let me get this up. We're ready to rock. Let me get it on the screen. Get us all adjusted. And then I'll play the second one. When this one's like 30 minutes, it'll probably be about 32 minutes or so, depending on what I cut out at the end. And she'll say some stuff at the beginning that is old news, maybe. But here we go. Let me share it. There we go. I want to make sure I get myself in the proper place. I like to be at the bottom. Sometimes I can even remove myself and you still can hear me, but I'm going to leave it like that because the screen's kind of small. And let me blow it up and get it started. Boom. And boom, and here we go.
What's up, guys? It's me, editing Gemma. And
if anybody has any problems, let me know, please. Seen a lot of men ghosts or spirits in there. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of everything in the hospital. Another place that creeps me out almost as much as hospitals is nursing homes. When I spent 2 weeks in a nursing home when they did my hip, I swore that I'd never go back to a nursing home. Some of the stuff I saw in the nursing home was way creepier, and I mean way creepier than what I saw in the hospital. Said it was. Someday I'll talk about that stuff on Wednesday night. Okay, here we go.
I just realized that I forgot to turn my air conditioner off, and it's really old and clunky. And I filmed like 2 videos, and the air conditioner's in the background. So I know it's going to annoy some of you. You don't have to attack me in the comments. I'm aware of it. I'm really sorry. I don't have the time today to redo the videos, and I want to put out content tomorrow, which is Monday, because I didn't put out any last Thursday. But I will redo the videos without the air conditioner noise as soon as I get a chance to. So again, I'm really sorry for Budget Beauty for May 2021 and the staircases in the woods. There's going to be air conditioner noise in the background. I'm so sorry. It was just hot, and I forgot that the air conditioner is like 900 years old and makes a lot of noise.
I had one of those for a while.
Love you. Mwah. Thanks for being so understanding. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, just welcome. My name is Gemma Jade, but today I am going to be discussing with you the staircases or random stairs in the woods, as you guys have been requesting a lot lately during the fireside chats, even in Real Evil, the Campfire Tales, all of the live streams. And you guys have been emailing me, just asking me like, hey, Gemma, can you check out these staircases in the woods? What's up with it? Because I hope you guys know that I'm going to tell you the absolute truth as to what I think and feel about certain phenomenon or alleged phenomena that you guys lead me towards and into looking into. So when I started the research on this, because I was researching as I went along, because this is just a part one, a cursory kind of start of the investigation for me. As you know, I like to put that out to give you guys a
just for folks coming in and watching, this is an older video. This is when she really first started, especially when she first started getting into paranormal. I believe this was about the time she started streaming with Steve Stockton, and she had been on YouTube before this. She was doing stuff about helping people with addiction, but YouTube kind of gave her a hard time about it, so she started slowly doing missing person cases, which I will start showing some of those videos again too. Some of the older ones, because I show them, she's been trying to update them. So anyways, just so you know, folks, this is like the beginning of her YouTube as in the paranormal field.
A little taste of what I'm researching and leave you kind of wanting more and waiting for the next video, I guess. So yeah, I definitely thought in the beginning, like, oof, I'm going to have to tell them there's nothing to this. This is bogus. A lot of people think this is just a creepypasta, and they think that that can be proven. So one way or another, whatever you believe, I hope that you know me well enough to know that I do the best I can with my research, especially in researching things that are allegedly paranormal in nature. Sometimes it's hard to come up with facts and documented sources and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that you trust me and trust my research and at least listen to my opinion before you make a final decision. I encourage you to give your opinion. Even if you don't agree with me, that's perfectly fine. Just keep it respectful. I mean, we're talking about alleged staircases in the woods. There's no reason to be arguing or fighting in the comment section. So here we go. So I want to be clear that when I'm talking about stairs or staircases in the woods, in the middle of nowhere, I'm not talking about something left over from some long ago structure or building that crumbled to the ground. I want to discuss staircases that allegedly lead to absolutely nowhere and that seem to come from and sometimes even vanish back into thin air. So they're 1 minute, gone the next. A lot of them, not all of them though. Some of them are always there. You can always find them in pretty much the same place. I'm not saying they don't move, because allegedly a lot of them do. But I'm not talking about, you know, something that we know was a random house or something in a woodland area that wasn't always woodlands and the house crumbled and the stair structure was left. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about what is surely a paranormal in nature as far as I can find. According to almost all the accounts I've come across, you can pretty clearly tell the difference between the two, like the ones that have always been there and the ones that are kind of just randomly popping up. The ones that are kind of just popping up that aren't left over from another time are usually, but not all the time, looking pretty new. They look like they had somehow just been built a few minutes before, you know, you came across them. From what I could find too, the stories seem to have originated on Reddit, but it didn't take long before more and more people were coming forward with their own experiences and encounters with these strange sets of steps. Many of these stories originated in the eastern United States, but they've been popping up from not just all around the country here in America, but all over the world as well. Many of the encounters are happening to park rangers. Like a lot of park rangers are coming forward with their stories, but as well as ordinary people. And this is what led me to research it and start looking first in our national parks, of course, in addition to the ever mysterious and creepy woodlands across the globe, which it seems I'm always, for one reason or another, researching and digging into for one supernatural or paranormal purpose or another. Though I just mentioned some of these staircases randomly popping up in like pretty much right before your eyes and then vanishing again, many of them are there all the time, pristine and new looking, leading to absolutely nowhere and not previously a part of something else, an aforementioned building, town, or structure of any kind. The reports and sightings go back as far as time itself does, seemingly, or at least as far as records were kept on such things. And I think, as with most things, all it took was a handful of brave souls who trusted the paranormal platform they chose to tell their encounters on enough to tell them without fear of ridicule, and that in turn opened the door for more and more people to come forward and share their own experiences without fear of being judged or made fun of or, you know, laughed off the internet, basically. It's also worth mentioning that depending on the encounter, the number of steps changes drastically. Some recount coming across steps which seem to have no end at all, going straight up into the sky above them, while others can count the number just by looking up at them. There are so many variants to this phenomenon, which I can technically call fairly new, but that would kind of be a misrepresentation. And I say that because it seems like this is not a new phenomenon. It's just people just started coming forward with the encounters, not sure, not knowing that they are of paranormal origin. I want to also point out that some people, of course, have come across staircases which seem to be random and are all in ruin and crumble to the ground. And in my own semi-professional opinion, though, I would say these are the ones which most likely belonged to something else at one point in time or another. So let's get into some of the encounters. And as usual, as with almost all of my paranormal research into all kinds of different phenomenon, I'm not done here with just this video. If I find more in all of my digging and traversing through all of these crazy rabbit holes, there will surely be more parts to this story and hopefully more videos to come. It was really hard for me just because, as with all my videos about the basics, my searches aren't so very deep and are mainly cursory. And I find it hard to find anything more than a few not very well written sentences about people coming across these staircases, only there's no detail to them. There's nothing more. It's just that like they came across these random and weird staircases. People walked upstairs and were missing for hours when all they did was walk about 40 stairs. Stories of Swedish kids walking up a flight and after getting to the top, turning and running, screaming for dear life at what they saw. And one of them feeling, quote, a hand, which wasn't their friend's, end quote, when he stopped to take a breath. But the problem with all these stories I'm running across, it's like, well, what exactly did they experience which caused them to go running away like this, screaming mad? Whose hand was it? What do they think? How many steps were there that he felt the need to stop while running down them instead of just hurrying down the steps, getting off the damn thing, and never looking back if he was allegedly so terrified? And this is what made it so hard for me, because it's like, these aren't believable. I'm not going to recount these to you as though I believe them if I don't. Many of the stories told of either a single person or a group of people, a couple of people, coming across these random flights of stairs and being too scared to approach. And if they did approach, they were too scared to actually climb the steps and set out to get more friends to come along to climb with them. But upon returning to the exact spot where the stairway was, it's no longer there. And of course, nobody had thought very conveniently to take a photo with their phone or something to actually document and prove these steps ever existed in the first place. And they weren't just trying to play a prank on their friends and then in turn on the internet. I did notice, however, that many of these stories told of many of the staircases which were encountered had one thing in common. Regardless of how brand new or decrepit each individual structure looked, and that was that the steps were covered in beautiful and pristine, completely clean white carpet. There are numerous reports of people who come across them feeling a very deep and visceral feeling of doom and dread, a determination coming from somewhere deep inside that's telling them to just turn and run. Again, this leads me back to the black-eyed kids and the feelings reported in pretty much every single case I've ever come across of people having an encounter with one of them as well. It seems to be the same feeling that accompanies these flights of steps in the wilderness. Something deep within us on a primal level, internally warning us to stay away altogether and definitely not to ascend. Another very familiar detail about these encounters is the fact that everything seems to be or to come to a complete standstill in the very near vicinity of the stairs, kind of like what I described in my Glimmerman encounter. There was no wind, no animals. So some of the stories, a lot of them have this happening just in the vicinity of the steps, and some of them have it taking place once people start ascending, once they start climbing, once they get to what they think is the top, this will happen. The difference, though, that I can find is that time and time again, it's been described as almost stepping into a, quote, bubble, end quote, which surrounds in all directions around the structure a few inches to maybe a foot far away from it. Nature and even the wind seems to stop. No sounds at all, like a silent but somehow dark and mysterious wind has blown in, only silently and scaring the shit out of whoever is unlucky enough to encounter them being the steps and whatever is on them or with them or whatever. One of the handful of, in my opinion, seemingly credible stories I've come across came from a Reddit user named Search and Rescue Woods and went something like this. Now, I don't know if this is true in every search and rescue unit, but in mine, it's sort of a regular unspoken thing we run into. You can try asking about it with other SAR officers, but even if they know what you're talking about, they probably won't say anything about it. We've been told not to talk about it by our superiors, and at this point, we've all gotten so used to it that it doesn't even seem weird anymore. In just about every case where we're really far into the wilderness, I'm talking 30 or 40 miles, at some point, we'll find a staircase in the middle of the woods. It's almost like if you took the stairs in your house, cut them out, and put them in the forest. I asked about it the first time I saw some, and the other officer just told me not to worry about it, that it was normal. Everyone I asked said the same thing. I wanted to go check them out, but I was told very emphatically that I should never go anywhere near them. I just sort of ignore them now when I run into them because it happens so frequently. End quote. The person who posted this account goes on to mention or claim, depending on what camp you're in, right? He goes on to say how these staircases are found too many times for it to be considered coincidental, where people have gone missing and disappeared without a trace forever. What I would like to know is something he didn't really elaborate on, and that's if the staircases were always each in the same place every single time, or if they're there one time and gone in someplace else the next time when he goes back to that spot. Are they still there? Are they always there? So if he goes there on Monday, they're there. If he goes there on Tuesday, they're in the same spot. Or is he encountering the same steps in all different part of the woods? I just wish I was able to ask those questions and kind of get those details. But unfortunately, the post was archived, so I cannot. It confuses and frustrates me to no end that I can't get a specific answer on this case, and that I can't get really any answers on any of the other cases. I keep getting different answers on this one question of, are they always in the same spot? I think not, because if they were, way more people would be coming across them, right? I guess it's more than likely that some are always there and some move. As I mentioned earlier, the only accounts I've read up to this point, and it's weird because they're so easily found and seem very widespread throughout the internet, and in most searches I did, but in my opinion, they aren't very believable at all, to the point where I won't even repeat the encounters. And as someone, I'm sure you guys could understand this. I mean, if you're interested in the title of this video, it stands to reason that this type of content interests you. It's not often I find someone kind of interested in the paranormal. I don't often see half-hearted fans of the unexplained. I'm sure they exist, but somewhere in the periphery. It's almost always either you believe or you don't, at least in my experience. So my point is, I think you'll understand when I tell you how frustrating it is to read or hear a story about something you are so very interested in and doing extensive research on, only to find that 99% of the encounters, not the information, but the encounters, just don't ring true to you. And I don't want to perpetuate these seemingly false accounts on something I'm trying my best to present to everyone in a way that makes them a believer that these things actually exist, whatever surrounds them, right? Whatever other experience or type of phenomenon that surrounds these, I want you to at least acknowledge their existence. So reporting accounts that I feel in my gut and in my heart aren't true just wasn't going to work for me. That's not true just for this video either. I hope you guys know that that's like for all of my videos and all of the research I do on a daily basis. I want to have information that, even if it can't technically be proven as fact or truth, can at least be considered credible. Does that make sense? Okay, now that I did my little ramble there, let's move forward. So back to the allegations that these staircases tend to be very near to the areas where many people go missing, and also taking into consideration the fact that they are almost never mentioned in these missing persons cases, I'd have to presume that that's because they are vanishing without a trace after the person climbs them. If you really think about this, though, this is some scary stuff. I mean, as I said earlier, I'm sure that some of these are leftovers from long ago towns or structures, but wow. To think that instead of a random portal to encounter a stairway to an alternate dimension or realm, a staircase that leads to the world of the other, Steve and I are always so fascinated by. I've also read a lot of people who claim to have encountered these staircases who say that the reason they never came forward before seeing the original post I just read, is for fear they won't believe and they'll be mocked and ridiculed, like I said in the beginning of this video. This to me is definitely understandable. It reminds me a lot of the paranormal and supernatural phenomenon that I investigate. And for example, let's talk again about the black-eyed kids. There were very few stories available, and almost all of them weren't at all anywhere near widely known until Brian Bethel retold his encounter in, I think, 97. So again, I believe these things could date back as long or even longer than we humans ourselves exist. However, for fear of being called insane, and in some centuries perhaps burned as a witch or a warlock, or even committed to a psych facility or mental asylum, right? It is reasonable to me that some people didn't want to come forward until someone else did. And with everybody thinking this way, the encounters, the stories just never got told. I'm sure there are many other reasons why a person didn't want to come forward, like they thought nothing of it, like immediately assumed it was a part of a building or something, or if the person isn't a believer in the paranormal, despite having no rational or reasonable explanation, they just assumed it was part of a structure and moved on. I can go on and on about my own speculation into why people haven't come forward, but the thing that makes the most sense to me is that they were waiting for someone else to as well, because they weren't sure if this was a paranormal thing. There was another person who posted something about all of this that I found quite interesting. They said, quote, "An hour east of Ironwood, there is a clearing in the forest that has stairs. I was hiking and exploring with my cousins when we stumbled upon a clearing about a half a football field long. Had a few staircases, but not standing against trees, just standing in the open. They looked like stairs from a normal suburban home. Kind of old, though. The older cousin decided to investigate. He walked to the stairs to see how they were being held up, but couldn't find anything that weirded him out. He made us all leave. Grass didn't grow near those stairs either," end quote. That's weird. Grass didn't grow around them. I'm just, again, frustrated. I wish they had given more detail. I was also able to find a story about the eerie and ominous, kind of deep and very real sense of dread that I mentioned earlier. And again, I'm only telling the accounts that were more believable to me. The writer says, quote, "A few months back, we went hiking. Nothing big, just a walk and a picnic in some woods. With us were my niece and nephew, who were both quite young. I joined them in some hide and seek while the proper adults drank coffee and whatnot. Me and my nephew were the first to hide, but we split up, and I ran alone quite a ways into a thicket of woods. I found a staircase. Nothing remarkable, riddled with moss and made from what looked like really old concrete with large pebbles of rocks in it. It didn't really seem out of place at the time, but thinking back. Anyway, I decided it was fit for a hiding place, but after only a few seconds of squatting behind it, I got up and stepped back. I couldn't shake the feeling that I shouldn't be anywhere near it. I suddenly had this feeling of being severely unwelcome and that I should get as far away from it as possible. So I went to my family and didn't even look back at it. Thinking about it now still gives me the same sort of, I don't know, twisted, wrong feeling, end quote. Again, not that I wish someone had put themselves in danger, but dang it. I mean, I wanted to hear more about the people who had allegedly climbed them and what they were feeling, what they experienced. We'll get to that though. The stories that I did read about people who had actually attempted to climb the anomalous stairs ranged from the kind of eerie and a bit strange to absolutely terrifying. One person claimed to have ascended almost to the top of a set of them when, out of seemingly nowhere, they never could figure out where it was coming from. They heard an almost inhuman scream, which sent them back down the steps, running as fast as their legs could carry them. I wonder about this too. The multiple reports like this of the quote, kind of, quote, or quote, somewhat inhuman, end quote, scream or shriek that's been reported. It's always this kind of human, seemingly human, but it's never actually like I heard a human woman or a human man scream or a child or whatever. It's always like shrouded in some kind of mystery as to what is actually screaming or shrieking on, around, near, atop the stairs. I wonder, is it something trying to mimic a human scream, and that's why it's off a little bit and still sounds foreign to our human ears? We've all heard screams like that before, I think. Maybe just me because I work in and have been fascinated by anything paranormal, supernatural, or even horror related my whole life. But I mean, most people have heard this before, even if only in a movie or on the television, right? An actual person screaming bloody murder. So we know what one should and shouldn't sound like. It creeps me out just thinking about a blood-curdling scream, which is, quote, a bit off, end quote. It never says whether it was male or female, but my gut tells me neither, just trying to sound like one or the other. Just trying, again, to sound human. You can always look at this another way too, and perhaps an actual human was somewhere near, maybe at the top of the stairs, and something so horrifying was happening to them that made them emit this almost inhuman sounding scream. I don't know. It kind of makes my head hurt investigating this stuff sometimes because I will just bring myself around and around and around where everything keeps coming back. And that's frustrating because if you're going around and around, you can't go forward. So I do struggle a little bit and my head does start to hurt. Again, be sure and let me know what you guys think in the comments, please. You have been asking me for some time to look into this, so here it is. As most of you, or at least many of you, I think should know, I start with the basics and then move into as much of a deep dive gradually as I possibly can. This one's tricky though, I'll admit that, definitely. Information that seems at least credible was extremely hard to come by, so I used my professional knowledge and discernment when choosing what to report to you and perpetuate and put out there and what to leave behind in my research and retelling of the information I came across. I mentioned earlier in the video the one account of the guy in Sweden who said a hand had grabbed him as he ran screaming down the steps, terrified of something which he never went on to explain. However, that isn't the only encounter where someone claims to have been running for their lives back down the steps and had someone or something grab them and try to pull them back up. There's also at least one account of a woman who climbed the stairs only to collapse suddenly when she reached what she thought was the top, and she actually died later on of an aneurysm. I read a couple retellings where the person writing claims to have witnessed someone climb to what they thought was the top only to die later on. And I say what they thought was the top because I think there's something atop these stairs, and I don't think the top is where we think it is. And Steve Stockton brought up something after I wrote the script, so this isn't in here. I'm just kind of adding it. When we were talking about this on Campfire Stories or Campfire Tales the other night, he was saying how he believes that perhaps, at least in some cases, these steps are for UFOs to land. I mean, think about it. He said, you know, when you go to an airport and you get out of the plane, you pull the steps out. So where are UFOs? I mean, yes, they can beam themselves, and I'm sure they can beam steps. But to me, that makes sense. Some kind of craft, even if it's, you know, U.S. military or military craft, some sort of craft that does not want to be seen, I believe, could be landing. I believe this is the reason for some of these sets. It's all so very mysterious, and I really hope to bring you not only more alleged encounters, but also some more credible and maybe even factual information on the subject. I was immediately fascinated at the first mention of this, which was, by the way, in one of mine and Steve's live streams, but I can't remember which one. It's been brought up multiple times, and I hope you'll stick around past this video. I know that a lot of people complain that I talk too fast. I'm so sorry about that, but for the most part, you guys can keep up with me. You've gotten to know me by now. I'm just kind of, as someone described it, a giant ball of energy, right? So I hope that you won't be too frustrated that this is going to be a shorter video, because all of my part 2s are going to be coming out soon, starting with shadow people, white-eyed kids, alien hybrids, and this. So I have 4 videos which need a part 2, and I'm going to start with shadow people part 2 in a week or so. So hang in, you know, bear with me. As it says in the title, and probably will on the thumbnail too, this is part 1, the basics. If you have any information you think is credible and factual, then don't hesitate to email me, GemmaJadeYT@gmail.com. I'll put it on the screen. I'll be sure and get it out in the next episode or the next video. That's true as well for any and all paranormal experiences you may have personally had. I would love to retell them for you in my listener stories. I'm putting together, finally, I know, my first video of listener stories in the very near future. I'm putting them together now to tell you soon in an upcoming video. I emailed some of you back about the fact I'll be using your experiences you've sent me, and I'll try my best to make sure that when I'm going to use your experience, I let you know. I've got a little bit more on this, and here's another account told by someone who calls themselves Case 9. Here is what Case 9 had to say about a very scary experience with these random staircases. Quote, I found a staircase while walking through foliage so thick I didn't see it until I was almost underfoot. The stairs were made of loose cobble and moist earth like they were a work of masonry once long ago. I climbed the stairs thoughtlessly, half expecting there to be a landing view. I climbed the stairs thoughtlessly, half expecting for there to be a landing to greet me at the top. There wasn't, though, just another crumbly step and an unimpressive view. Something caught my eye as I craned my head. The bushes were packed tight, except where the stumps of dead trees formed sunken wells around them, and from one of the craters, someone was looking at me. I remember clearly their dark, lean face, their dark eyes, black. No sooner had I seen the face than it disappeared again. Only then did I have the foresight to take off down the steps and back through the bushes and brambles, end quote. With all of this that we've learned today in this video about the experiences with these weird and seemingly random stairs or staircases in the woods, believe it or not, this is, as I've already said, just the tip of the iceberg. There have been numerous reports of people approaching, sitting on, or even just getting too close to these anomalies and losing time. This is another thing which makes me really interested in this phenomenon. You all should know where I'm going with this because, again, at the end of the day, that's what a lot of my research seems to boil down to. I didn't come into this knowing that this is where it was going to take me, you know, to the missing in the woods. It seems everything I'm doing lately has taken me back to the missing people in the woods. Maybe it's destiny, maybe it's what I was meant to do. But again, I didn't know coming into this that I was going to come across accounts like this. Of course, the idea is always in the back of my head when I'm talking about anything in the woods, you know, anomalous stairs in the woods. I'm thinking in the woods. I'm going to think, you know, missing people disappearing in the woods, because that's what the bulk of my research right now is about. My book is about the Fae and the missing, right? By the way, I just handed in Fae 4 to Steve. You guys are going to love it. In fact, the missing in the woods is one of the reasons that I kept going forward with this research, because at first, like I said, I didn't believe in it. I thought I was going to end up telling you guys, like, look, there's no truth to this. It's a creepypasta, because I couldn't find it.
I've enjoyed them, and yeah, I'm a little biased.
Factor for me, which is that, you know, where is this going? That one piece of information that makes me so incredibly excited to continue researching something. I look for in all the research that I do. Where is that piece of information for me that lets me know that I'm on the right track, I'm on the right path in my research and conveying what I want to say, getting everything down. And I didn't find that in the very beginning. Many of the reports either aren't believable to me, or they were just like really super vague. It was like if they were believable, they were like 2 sentences long. I'm going down rabbit holes and seeing what I come up with as I come out the other side. So these people, even just getting near these steps, is making them miss and lose time, We see this a lot in cases of people who have gone missing and have come back with some kind of strange or bizarre story to tell, right? They think they're gone for 5 minutes, they're gone for 10 months. There were quite a few reports of people, many of them either hikers, hunters, or search and rescue workers, coming across these steps, but no matter what else they looked like, they were covered in that super clean and pristine white carpet I talked about. This was also really interesting when I heard this, because I immediately thought that there was going to be something kind of feel good about these encounters, because when you think of white, you think of light, you know, pristine, clean white. You don't think of something evil taking place, or, you know, evil decorating with pristine, clean white carpet, right? That's the only way I can describe what I'm trying to say here. But I read on, and again, I was surprised, but kind of not surprised, that it seems these particular steps covered in the pristine white carpeting were also inviting to the people who had come across them. But instead of the aforementioned feelings of dread that descended upon the other people who have encountered the non-carpeted stairs, these people were filled with an almost uncontrollable urge to move forward and to climb the steps. However, when they did start to climb, the closer they got to the top, the more that false sense of peace seemed to fade. The higher they ascended, the more silent everything became. Another one of these paranormal things or experiences in the woods that seems to make everything just stop, even the air from circulating. So once they got to what seemed like the very top, they were immediately filled with this insane, nonsensical sense of panic. They wanted to turn and run, but they had never climbed high enough to know what they were actually running from. It was just this feeling they were getting. It wasn't anything that they saw. So it was something that was kind of hard for them to explain, because it was just this deep kind of, like I always say, visceral, primal sense of run, you fool, as Brian Bethel had experienced in his Black Eyed Kids encounter. And I just love the way he put that. I say it all the time. So these people are turning and running without even knowing or exploring more to see what it is they're running from. It's like they could not, no matter if they wanted to, keep climbing. They had to turn and run. I'm wondering what would have happened or what they would have encountered had they kept climbing. It was said by almost all of them that it was like they couldn't continue on. They physically weren't able to go any further, as I just said. And this absolutely fascinates me. It's like, I have to know, what is this? What is it? What's going on? What is at the top of these damn steps? And is there any human being who would be able to climb them if they should choose? I haven't yet been able to find anyone who can say that they climbed the entire way to the top, to the very apex of it. There are people who have reported almost reaching the top and then being struck by something internal, some internal thing, which forced them almost literally to turn and start running back down. And one thing I forgot to mention about the missing time, I just wanted to explain a little bit more. I kind of got lost in my own fascination there. So anyways, when these people start to climb the steps and almost get to the top, they felt this overwhelming, almost primal need to turn and flee. And so they did. They turned and ran as fast as they could back down, only to find out that in the minute or two maybe that it took for them to do this, they had actually been gone or missing for sometimes as long as a few hours. One of them who did this actually got to the point where there was going to be a search and rescue sent out to find him. In this particular case, the person actually was a search and rescue member looking for someone else who, by the way, they recovered in the hours that this guy was gone, climbing a couple of stairs. So one more alleged encounter with one of these staircases in the woods, I definitely feel that I need to mention and recount for you guys. And let me say, I know you guys are going to want more information on these cases, the details, right? And trust me, I'm digging in the very best I can to help get them for you all. So this person was in the Philippines. He was a search and rescue worker. And allegedly, he came across these staircases in a very, very thick jungle. And he climbed the staircase to get a better view of where he was going. He was kind of surveying the area. So he surveyed the area. He kind of looked and mapped out where and how to go in his mind, you know. He was up there, he claims, for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. He had no kind of bad or eerie feelings telling him to turn and run. He didn't encounter anyone or anything trying to grab him. He heard no screams. Everything didn't stop altogether, though. So this seems like a pretty normal encounter of maybe some stairs that were a part of a building that was there at some point, right? I mean, there's nothing paranormal seeming to go on here. But think again, because when he climbed back down and made his way out of the jungle, after searching for a long time for the rest of his team, he made it back to his car and realized he had been gone for 5 years. Let me say that one more again. He climbed the steps to get a better view and survey the area that he was going to be searching for someone with. He walked up a few steps. I don't know how many. It wasn't said. When he came back down, he couldn't find his team, got back to his truck, and eventually realized he'd been gone for 5 years. His family and friends had considered him dead. He claims that after all this, he's still, to this day, years and years later, he has absolutely no memory at all of what happened to him. In fact, he doesn't remember there even being time for anything to have happened, because all he remembers is, he says he literally climbed up, surveyed the area, and climbed back down. There was no blackout. There was no loss of time. He didn't pass out. Trust me, guys, I'm looking more into this, and hopefully I can find a little more, especially on this one specifically, but on all the experiences and encounters that I told you so far today. Some of the theories about these stairways, aside from the skeptical, quote, these were once parts of other structures and are just left over, end quote, these paranormal explanations range from secret rituals in the woods, like the stairs are there for people to perform ritual proceedings, for lack of a better word, and not wanting to say ritual again, even though I just said ritual again. Some of the more interesting, at least to me, and some of the ones I want to really dig into are the possibility these could be part of something extraterrestrial, something maybe aliens are still using for something, or something left over from who knows when, where the aliens used it once for who knows what. Like I said, it didn't occur to me when I wrote this, but perhaps Steve was right and it's some kind of landing for their craft. Could they be portals to other realms or dimensions? Absolutely. There's speculation they could also be part of secret government experiments. Again, either still being used now or from the past. Most likely, at least in my opinion, they have to still be in use for whatever it is they're being used for, because of all the crazy and weird things going on around them. Could they just be stories from people trying to freak others out and cause an internet stir or sensation, like Slender Man, right? Slender Man blew up, started as a creepypasta, and look at all the chaos that's come from that. I don't think so, though. Many people believe the original post that I read to you earlier in the video, and they believe that it seemed honest, and I thought so too. And it was as though the person were really trying to seek and find out answers. And that seems to be the case, at least in my opinion, in all of the encounters I've shared with you here today. So yeah, I know I read a lot, but I was trying to get everything right. And a lot of you have been complaining that I talk too fast. I'm sorry about that, guys, but you have to understand, I filmed 3 to 4 videos in one day. Plus I'm writing a book. Plus I write scripts. Plus I have housework to do. Plus I have, stuff to do. So if I'm really that fast and you really can't keep up with me, let me know and I'll slow it down. But for the most part, I think you guys know that that's just me. And I haven't been receiving as many complaints about it lately. I just hope I can keep you all with me. Be sure and give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. If you love hanging out with me, if you love my research and seeing what I'm going to be doing next, then be sure and stay tuned, and subscribing will help you do that. Please be sure and share this video, spread the love, and yeah, be sure also to check out the description box for some pretty important links. There's going to be PayPal and Patreon information there if you want to make some kind of donation to the channel. Just click on one of those links. Also, Fireside Chat Sunday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Missing Persons and Mysteries.
This is where I'm going to
Steve Stockton and I talking with the people in the live stream.
Okay, let me stop and get that turned off. I got to get to the one. Okay, let me set up the next one that way. I always leave a little break time, so now I know where it's at, so I don't have to be scrolling forever. But it's just I still got to scroll. I got so many of these lined up. Okay, I kind of jump around on how I feel, but I wanted to run these two because I know I ran the first one, this one that we just watched. And it might have been the second one we watched, and I just didn't find the first one. But I know we watched one of them, and I'm just figured it'd be nice to play them together. Okay, we're getting there. Where's number 2? Okay. Wait, I went too far, didn't I? No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Wait. Okay, come on. See, okay, there's that. And it should be right up here. Because she did the second one a couple months later, and I got them kind of in order. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Okay. Oh, she's actually got this one broken down. Cool. Okay, this one is also 3 years old. Let me drop this down and we'll take a little break. I have a Facebook page. You can look under either Ghostdragonzw or Stephen Lee Davis. I'm in both. You can go by both. It will take you to the same page. Yeah, give me a yell. Thank you, Ghost. I feel like a wimp, though. No, you're a lot stronger than you think you are there, Mayhem. A lot of you folks are. A lot of you folks are. And Latra, I know that story. I've seen my share of needles for a lifetime. That's for darn sure. Yeah, just hit me up, Al. Now you sound like Edna. Yeah, see, Edna has a lot of the same problems. Hopefully she'll be here Wednesday night. If you come in Wednesday night at 10, same right here. Just we start an hour early and just chit chat. So we try to talk about paranormal, but we end up talking about everything. So yeah, come on in. We'd love to have you. You're not going far anyways. Just take it slow. Take your healing slow. And like I said, just make sure if you're having problems, you tell those doctors, even with the medication, hey, this is not doing it what it's supposed to be. Yeah, be honest with them. Don't give them crap. Don't let them give you crap. Yeah, please. I cry so much more than I used to. Yeah, pain can be a B. I get it. The only kind of needle I can tolerate is the tattoo needle. You know, I was going to get a Batman, Superman logo, with the Superman emblem with the Batman laid on top of it, like on the comic book. But doctor said, nope, I'm kind of a bleeder. So I can imagine. But once I heal up, man, I heal fast. So I can't complain. It's just, they just didn't think it'd be a good idea. Plus, I can see I have tremors. So it'd be a nightmare for that tourist because even when I get a haircut, I go to one barber because he's the only one who can deal with my tremors and my twitching. And the one day I got to rocking on in his chair because I wasn't paying attention. He just batted me on the head and goes, "Go take your meds and come back." So, and I don't like taking those, but I needed a haircut. You plan on it. Good girl. Yeah, because Edna went through that and she got wise and started standing up to him. And yes, you do. Especially with what you went through, you do have a long road of recovery. Just take it slow and easy. Stay positive. Like I said, you're a lot tougher than you think you are. So just keep that in the back of your head that you can do this. I sent you a Facebook page. Can't add you. Let me check. Well, before we start the next one. You sent me a message? Okay. Let me go do that. I didn't read that really well, did I? Hold on. It didn't send, did it? I don't see it. Oh, hold on. Nope, that's not you. That's somebody trying to get a unsolicited message. I don't think that was you. Try Stephen Lee Davis. And either that, go if Gemma's post for if her post for Friday night's Oracle, or you did, yeah, if you what's your name on it? Is it still Al? Yeah, I'm looking now. Hold on. If you go to her face, one like her oracles too, because I know I had mine locked and I tried to unlock it and it gave me over. Me and Facebook don't get along. I was originally on it like a few years back and they kicked me off. Well, it was kind of a mutual agreement because I'm kind of a conspiracy guy and they didn't like that. I only came back. They let me come back. And that was the only reason I did was for Gemma and you folks and family. I don't even follow half my family. I think the only one I follow is my oldest. But yeah, you can go in there and go on Gemma's Oracle, her promo for Friday Night Oracle, and go on Gemma's, because I think hers is public. And leave a comment, and I can actually click on that comment, your page, and request friend. So if you want to do that too. Yeah, because are you under Al? So I know. Probably hasn't showed up yet. My phone is so weird. This is why I do Facebook on the PC. Because I don't have as much trouble. Huh. Hasn't showed up yet, but I'll find out why. Because I had the same thing with the same problem with my cousin Kim. Yeah, weird. But yeah, just do that, and I'll go in and click on it, and I'll send a friend request. But let me know if that's your name. Is it still? Yeah, a lot of people don't do Facebook, but yeah, just me on Facebook. But yeah, just go there and leave one. I rarely use Facebook, but I was just one. I'm on TikTok too. I'm on TikTok, Al. It's Ghostdragonzw. So you can look for me on TikTok too. In fact, I've been playing with the tune and anime stuff on there. I basically got on there for Gemma too, because we're thinking about doing stuff together on there and maybe some lives. And I've been having fun with the apps and CapCut. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Facebook. I just have too many problems with it. They told me I'd go back if I keep it tame, so I've kept it real tame. Every so often I slide something in, but basically a lot of my pages, dragons and stuff I use for backgrounds and stuff like that. Yeah. What do people think of my background? I like this background. This was a good background. I really like that background. Pretty cool. Edna would appreciate that. Go back to me again. But yeah, me and Facebook, we just don't get along. I will, for a while there, it was about a year ago, a little less than that. Yeah, it is a good one. I like that one. About a year and a half ago, all of a sudden I lost half of my friends. It was like YouTube, where you have to check your subscriptions, because if you don't, you may have people you follow are gone. So I have to YouTube and Facebook. I have to constantly check to see if I still have all my friends, because I got on one time and like half my friends list was gone. I thought I got hacked, but after doing my business, it wasn't that. I don't know why Facebook did it, but they do. They do that crap to me all the time. So, but it hadn't been bad enough until that time. Yeah, I like that dragon. It was a good one. I got some good ones coming up. Plus stuff that I use for Friday nights with Gemma. And I will keep you guys informed on the radio interview. I believe it will also air. It's kind of like a podcast, but it's something radio. Paranormal Radio or something. I didn't write the name down. I just wrote the date down for her. But this should be good. And then she's just waiting to hear from the History Channel when it's going to air. Probably air in the fall. And she just doesn't know which episode she'll be in. But it should be pretty cool. I like the AI stuff, but some of it's scary. Have you guys seen the ones with the Bigfoots? Those things are hilarious. I'm going to read Mayhem here because I kind of lost chat here. But yeah, we'll figure it out, Al. You know, like I said, I am on TikTok too. So I know you do TikTok, don't you? Or something like that. Anyways, if you do TikTok, just look for me on TikTok too. I really use Facebook. I had my cat put down weeks ago. Aw. I was heartbroken, then just happened. Yeah, that probably didn't kind of help your old inner feelings kind of low, drop your vibration a little bit and everything. I can understand that, man. Trying to keep up with everybody. Broken heart syndrome is a real. Yes, it is. It is a very real thing. It does mess with the heart. No joke. Yeah, I agree with you, Vixen. I should have read that before I read her. Get after my dog kids for putting all their business on your. You never know when someone will use it against you. That's and they do. That goes with TikTok and Instagram too. Your settings are probably set to only people you have your email or number. Can you add or friends? Okay, something like that. It's good idea because of all the that's one of the reasons I did it in the first place. Oh, base camp Chris, too funny. Did I miss Chris? What did he say? I'm trying to keep up with it. I missed it. Oh well, I don't want to score too much. Oh, Nightmare. You were talking about Michigan UFO paranormal encounter? No, she's going to be on another show. She may be on Nighthawk's stream tomorrow night or the following Sunday at 8. I got to get with him. I was kind of hoping he'd pop in. I know he was pretty tired last night, and I didn't catch his morning show today. So I hope he pops in or Uso pops in because I know Uso will relay a message for me. Because he wants her on there to talk about Glimmerman, and she wanted me to be with her. So we may be on together with him either this Sunday or next Sunday to talk about Glimmerman. Yeah, she gave me the name, and for some reason, I want to say Paranormal Radio, but I don't think that's right. So I will get back with her. I don't know if she's watching. Sometimes she'll watch, and she'll let us know. It's late, so she probably won't pop in. But I'll make sure and then when I find out, I will put it. As soon as I find out, I'll put it in the comments here too. And plus, I'm sure she'll talk about it probably either Monday in her video or Friday night when we do the stream. But I will make sure everybody gets the details. Yeah, see, that's where I've been with YouTube since its beginnings. Then I kind of started a family. And then I started getting back on slowly. And then, actually, it was right before I started my family. Then I kind of started a family. I was on it, but not as much. And then after I got divorced, and we're still friends. And the doctor started making me work less and less because things were starting to take a toll. I started getting back on and paying a little more attention. Then I ran to Miss Gemma here when she was doing Steve Stockton's show. I was following her before. I didn't realize. It was funny because I had stumbled on her channel by complete accident. She was talking about almost getting ripped off through one of these scammers. Send me... we'll loan you this money, but you got to send us like $300 first or something. And I got to watch the video. I felt bad for her. And next thing I know, I started watching her content, and that's when she was doing the addiction thing. And then she writes. So she started writing for Stockton. And then they started doing the streams together. I was excited because it was nice to see him pair, and then some things falling out happened. But anyways, that's why I'm here now. She stuck me on Spaced Out Radio one night. She asked me to come on when she was working the weekends with them. And everybody went on vacation or something. And so she asked me to be on with her so she wouldn't be alone. And then she ended up having internet problems. I ended up doing like half the show by myself. I was nervous. But I've been with her since. As her little dragon sidekick. This guy is such a dad. Are you talking about me? I'm missing comments. But yeah, I will make sure Nightmare, everybody knows what's going on about all this stuff. So yeah. That guy is such a dad. Who are you talking about? 3 years ago, he literally would say mom after catching him. Still has twin brother, but he's not my steel. Oh. They were named Steel and Strap. Oh, okay. He does. But whoever he is doing those Bigfoot videos, they're great. I love them. They're hilarious. And they're so well done. I mean, like yours, Al. It's just amazing. I laugh every time I see him. Nature Friend narrated a story recently that has the Bigfoot vlog in the end. Oh, I remember that, Ghost. Base Camp Chris style is dad like. Okay. And it is too. Now to think about it, it is. I gotcha. I love those. They're great. I'm liking the AI stuff. It's a little scary because, they're already scamming people with it. There's an old man, I believe it's TikTok and Instagram. He does stuff and they AI'd him. And now they're trying to sell slippers. And with this AI generated guy who didn't know they were copying his face. And they're scamming people. It's bad. What's that, Chris? Ghost, don't you believe it? Yeah, I believe in Bigfoot. Yeah, I think I even saw him, but I can't say for sure if it wasn't a guy in a gunny suit. It happened so fast. I even chased after it, but whatever it was booking. We got to watch where I was at. They do a lot of illegal turkey hunting. So I thought that's what it was for sure. But it was big. But it happened so fast. And to watch me try to run, I mean, I can get speed going. But going down a hill trembling, it wasn't good. But I was trying to catch it and try to get close to it. I even had my phone with me. Just everything happened so fast. But that's the only time. And the grass man's big around here, just to the east of me and to the south of me. And Chris, man, he's got all kinds of stuff. I'm going to check this link out, Chris, real quick. Ooh, I like that. That is nice, dude. I got to have that. That is cool as crap. That is way cool. Oh, man. That is bad. I love that. Probably want a fortune for it, too. I'll have to check it out. That is way cool. I didn't look at the price, but that is cool as crap. Thanks, Chris. I'll have to check that out. Oops. There was a couple I didn't like. It was not funny at all. I reported it actually because it showed Bigfoot shooting up. Oh, that's not good. No, that's not a good. No. And Gemma's an ex-addict. She wouldn't have appreciated it if she saw that. She would have probably upset her. There was a couple I didn't like. It was not funny. Yeah, okay, I read that one. Ghost. Seen one too. He was huge. He was pretty good size. But like I said, it happened so fast. When I was having some stuff done on my throat, I took a little time off and went down to Logan up by Old Man's Cave. I have a friend that runs a cabin down there. So he let me have a cabin for a week so I could take a break from the doctors and everything. And I was sitting on the porch, and there's an open area, but it's mostly all woods around me, except for where you drive in at. And I was sitting on the porch. It was probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. I was drinking a cup of coffee. The night before, it was funny. I had peacocks out in front of the porch, just making all kinds of noise, like wouldn't shut up. So I walk out the door and I go, guys, can you just be quiet? And they all just looked at me and left. I about lost it. Excuse me. And anyways, that morning, I'm sitting there drinking a cup of coffee. I hadn't slept, so I was just chilling. And there's this corner, and in the front, it kind of drops. So whatever, it moved so fast, it went from the corner, it came out in the open, and by the time I caught it, it was already going down the hill. I immediately dropped everything, grabbed my phone, picked up my phone, and started chasing after it, because all I saw was, it looked hairy, but all I saw was leaves and grass, and it went down the hill. And I went to, by the time I got about midway down, it was gone. All I could see was this thing moving, and then it was gone. But like I said, it could have been a guy in a gun suit doing illegal hunting. It happened. My guy, Larry, that runs the place, said it's not uncommon. But he's seen stuff. He says he's seen Grassman. He calls him Grassman, too. I call him, here in Ohio, I call him Grassman. Chris calls him Squatch Bigfoot. But the guys that I talk to, especially out around Zanesville and stuff, they all talk about him having grass in his fur. It's like they use it for camouflage or something. It's weird. But that's what I've been told. But I'm not a Bigfoot guy. I like cryptids. But there's so many channels out there. Now, my knowledge ain't nothing. Chris probably knows more than I could ever even think of. Because he crossed on a ramp to Route 7 in 2 steps. Oh, really? That's wild. That's awesome. A few of the Bigfoot vlogs have Squatch trying to get coke for the first time or getting drunk. Now, I did see one where he talked about eating some mushrooms, and he woke up next to a wolf. Man, chat's flying now. About 20 yards in front of me. Wow. I seen mine playing. It just happened so fast. So that's why I don't like to say I seen a Bigfoot, because I really can't say. I don't have photograph evidence. It happened so fast. But my instinct says I saw something. Because I usually go with my instincts, but I can't say for sure. Yeah, Grassman is the local term from the nations. Okay. I just know that a lot of people, especially around Zanesville, call him Grassman. And a couple of people I know from Logan, that's what they call him. Yeah, that one is hilarious, though. It is hilarious. A plain and misinformation on drug itself. I used to work as an outreach worker, and it's something I take seriously. I give out. Still currently. Really? I didn't know that, Al. That's good for you. At least you know your stuff and you're helping. So that's good. Yeah, and I don't agree with that either. And Gemma definitely would not. Because like I said, the beginning of this channel, she didn't want to take them down, but they weren't really getting any views, and YouTube was kind of giving her a hard time, which upset me. I didn't start talking to her personally. We didn't really start becoming friends until Steve Stockton, when we really started talking. And then she sent me a reading, and my first personal reading, and I'll tell you what, she nails stuff. There was a couple of things I told her I don't know about, but I was honest with her. And so instead of typing her an email, I sent her a video because sometimes my hands ain't the best. So I sent her a video back telling her what I thought of the reading and everything. Next thing you know, we were friends. And we've been talking ever since. She's a good woman. A lot of people don't see what's really inside there. She is a good. Yeah, that one is funny. Plus, how dare they do that to Bigfoot? Yeah, I totally agree. But that one was funny because it was more of a natural incident where he was, cooking. You kind of had a feeling. And it was funny. It's hilarious. But the other ones, I saw one where I think I saw the one he was doing the sea, and I wasn't real happy with that one. I didn't see I have to watch what I say. You guys can type it, but I can't say it. They're so picky, and YouTube has gotten so. Anyways, but yeah, that one, if I saw it, probably would have upset me. I know it upset her. Took 3 seconds, I swore. Yeah, it happened so fast, ma'am. It didn't register right off first, and I was like, and then I just ran. And I tried to catch up with it, but it was booking. Whoever it was or whatever it was running at full tilt. All I saw was the flash out of the corner of my eye, and as soon as I looked, it was going down the hill, and I could see the head. And like I said, the head was it was like full of dirt and crap, and I can smell it. I did smell it, but heck, one time I spent down there, I woke up and there was a cow standing in front of the cat. So, yeah, it is funny. Yeah, the misinformation on a lot of stuff is pretty bad. That's different, Chris. I have things for microdosing too. Oh, there you. That's cool, Al. Yeah, we definitely got to hook up and talk. I think you'd be an interesting person to talk to. Robin from Sorry knows Bigfoot really well, and yeah, she said he definitely shuts across in front of me because he knew I was safe candidate and had been trying to get to the river. Yeah, I really think that when they if and when they do expose themselves, it's because they don't feel fear from the other person. And if they do, I can imagine they could probably be aggressive or just disappear. Oh, Robin from SOR. Okay, got you. You're good. Thank you. And I used to listen to SOR a lot during the week. I don't anymore. I just been too busy. I even seen I think the last time I saw the weekend live show, Grant was on, his name Grant, and that Daniel Diva was on there, and the kid. It was good. But I have to admit, when Gemma and them all were on there, he had a good thing happening. I mean, he was getting views up the butt. And then they always want to switch stuff up. Oh, well. Life goes on. Another day, another year. Squatch is not exempt or safe from true comedy. Look at what South Park. Oh, yeah. South Park does it to everybody. Yeah, that's true. Me too. I've been too stuck. Supp goes. Sick, yes. But yeah, Al, definitely hit me up. Mayhem, if you do you don't do Facebook. Yeah, I'm on Facebook posts. Gemma's on Facebook. We're both on TikTok. I don't do Instagram. Was on it for like 2 day. Well, actually, I was on it for a little bit because I had a guy that was doing comic book mystery boxes. He does a live stream, and then sometimes if you go to Instagram and follow him, he gives you clues, or you can get in on special deals. But I just didn't like Instagram. I wasn't on it enough. It was kind of a waste of my time. And TikTok, like I said, I did it. I was on it first time I was on it, maybe 2 weeks before I got off of it. Twitter, when it was Twitter, I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't keep up. So I just, yeah, neither one of them are still on her own show and Toddler Hunters these days. Yeah. Okay. I think the choice in words used in videos does matter. Instead of saying drugs, say substances. Yeah, it does make a difference. And lately, Gemma's channel is not the only one. A lot of YouTube channels, especially anything what they would consider small, and not the paranormal stuff, but all the categories. If you're a small channel, you seem to get a hard time now. You know, in the day you used to watch these channels grow like crazy. But because my personal feeling is because of TikToks and the shorts and everything, people's attention spans, in most part, are short. You know, they went from expecting maybe a half-hour video, upload, whatever, to 15 minutes, and then it went from 15 to just a couple minutes. So it's constantly trying to put information But you nailed that, Al. That's pretty much the fact. Yeah, now she does on shows on his. Yeah, I know. We know that, Chris. I'm not a big fan of her. I've gone over and watched her a couple of times just to check her out. I don't. But then again, you know, everybody's got their thing. But yeah, I know she's on his. You remember she was on there with Gemma. That was interesting. And the conversation after that was pretty interesting too. I don't do the drama, so we'll just let it go. I enjoy 2 or 3 hours of videos. It looks daunting until you give it a listen. Sometimes I don't want to. And that's the thing. Now, see, when it's YouTube, I'll scroll all night. I try to keep up with all my subscriptions as much as I can. Because I do have a lot of people. I don't think even my page shows everybody I follow. She was good with Sean G. I hope he's good. Do you know how he's doing nowadays, Chris? Yeah, I know he had to tell her to stop because of him being a Christian. He wasn't comfortable with it anymore, so he stopped doing it. And then he had his heart attack after that. I heard he got real bad. In fact, I think you told me, then I had somebody else tell me he got pretty bad. But I haven't heard any more about him since. Yeah, that's the thing with TikTok. Because they're so short, I find myself scrolling. And you kind of get addicted there. And it's like, I got to stop. I can't stop. Hold on. I'm going to move. Thank you. Sorry about that, folks. He has been just videos and memes. Does he have his own channel still? Or is he is it on TikTok? Is it still under Sean G? Chasing the Truth? That was one of the channels that kicked off when I lost a bunch of subscriptions. I just never redid it because of a certain other person that he was involved with so I just kind of backed away. And Miss T, if you remember Miss T, she kind of got hounded for a lot of BS. So I just kind of stepped away from that whole situation. Facebook and Instagram. Okay. Is it Sean G, or is he still using Chasing the Truth? I'll have to go look for him. I'd love to talk to him again. I always did like him. He was a super nice guy. Heart attacks themselves are, oh, I know they are, hon. I know they are. Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris, very much. I'll have to go look him up. I use the longer vids to fall asleep. I do too at times, but this is the thing. I don't stay asleep so very long. And last night, like I said, I didn't sleep at all until about 8 o'clock this morning. I fell asleep in this chair for like 15 minutes, and I got going to bed. Next thing I know, I wake up and it's only like a couple minutes before 10. I'm like, man. But I couldn't go back to sleep. So I've been grinding ever since. And I'll get up tomorrow. If I sleep tonight, or if I don't sleep tonight, I'll get up before the heat kicks in. I got to do some trimming. The sun's going to cut the grass. And Pop wants to go check out garage sales. Man, we're talking. I didn't even do the second video. You guys ready for the second video? And you can keep the conversation going? Might as well play part 2, right? Yes, it's easily. That's what Ralph, if you guys remember Ralph and Cassie, he would come in to listen to me to go to sleep too. Some with me, Vixen. I like to read the tape library for his other channel. Oh, really? Those are good sleep channels. So that's when Steve Stockton was doing the uncopyrighted book stuff. I would just turn on that. Sometimes I would talk to Ann and stuff, but a lot of times I just put it on in the background and listen to the stories to go to sleep. But I never went to sleep, so I found myself scrolling again on Facebook. I mean, here on YouTube. I did that tonight, woke up around 10 and haven't been able to go back. Yeah, I do it all the time. Tape Library is a good channel. I'll have to check that out, Chris and Al and you guys. I didn't know. I hadn't heard of that one. I'm going to write that one down too. Tape Library. Cool. Black Dragon still comes in. We haven't seen him for a while. He kind of comes and goes. He's like me, gets a lot of trouble with Facebook and YouTube. But he does come and go. We haven't seen him for a couple weeks. But then he just pops in. So he is still around, Mayhem. And Palmer, I think she's under a different name now. So what you told me that, Chris, or somebody told me that? I guess I'm just tired of hearing people's stories that end up having, and can't confirm the story. There's a few out there are like that. Don't matter where you live. Yeah, they'll always ones like that out for sure. Usually, what lurks underneath does it for me. Yeah, I like him too. He does a lot of Ohio stories, but he's one of my favorites too. I do watch him quite a bit. And of course, Mr. Now I can't think of his name. Oh gosh, Butthead. I'm calling myself a butthead. What is his name? Oh, he's real big now. He wears the flannel shirts. Hold on. Man, he got real big, real fast. Where is that? Now, where'd he go? Yeah, because I started this video earlier, and then they got busy. Oh, Mr. Ballin. I like his channel too. and sends stuff to Merid on Facebook every day. Oh, that's cool, Chris. I like Buckeye Bigfoot confirmed sightings of not. Buckeye Bigfoot's a big channel around here. A lot of people talk about that one. Merid's still around. But let me get this other one started because it's only like 17 minutes. Well, actually about 15 minutes when I cut off the end. Let me get that started. Now I want to show this one because I want to show them together. Good conversation tonight, folks. We're having a good time. I like that. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody that's in chat. Everybody that's watching. I appreciate you. Nance from Buckeye Bigfoot lives in Hocking Hills. Yeah, she's probably not far from Larry's Cabins, I believe. Now, I've heard of her through Buckeye Bigfoot, people talking about Buckeye Bigfoot. Hold on. Okay, that's ready. Let me share. Making sure everything's good. And please keep talking. Keep the conversation going. This is another one. This is part 2. I think this is the one we actually watched the first time, and I couldn't find part 1. But you're going to get them both together tonight. Okay. Let me move the picture around a little bit. And let's get it rocking.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to
The
the
sound
channel. And if you're new here,
adjust on
welcome.
this.
My name is Gemma Jade, but today we are
You'll have to adjust the sound on this.
Once again, these weird and random staircases in the woods. While I did a video a while back on this strange but extremely interesting,
so it's low, so you might have to turn up a bit.
Start with me. As far as I can tell with my extensive research, this all started to come to light when people finally started talking about the strange things they were seeing and or encountering, not only deep in our world's woods and forests, but in the national parks of the United States and Canada. There has been report after report of terrifying things lurking about in the woods. UFOs, unknown beasts, demons, spirits, cryptids, white-eyed kids and their black-eyed counterparts, glimmer men. I could go on and on and on. But now the focus is these strange and seemingly random staircases in the woods. This topic absolutely fascinates me, fascinates so many people, because there doesn't even seem, at least in my opinion, to be any kind of reasonable or rational theory as to what the hell these things are doing there. Why are they there? What purpose could they possibly serve if not for being a part of some useful structure from long ago? Well, I don't have the answer for you guys today, regrettably. I do have some more very interesting and bizarre information. People who claim to have come across these staircases in the woods, some of my own opinions. I wanted to share with you guys some things I've managed to put together from my research. While there's nowhere near enough factual, documented, or credible information for any of these stairways actually exist, I believe in everything I'm about to tell you enough to feel confident in presenting the information to you guys and letting you make your own.
Get a chance, put them in the comments.
As I
didn't even spell comments.
A lot of people ask me, and I get asked all of the time lately, whether or not this phenomena is even real. And all I can answer that with is to respond by letting whoever asks me know that I wholeheartedly believe in these staircases, in the encounters that I've reported.
Well, yeah, I know she does.
And any and all of the information I present to you at any given time. I've come to find that many of the encounters take place at night. People in the woods, for whatever reason or another, coming across these strange structures when the sun is already set, and the forests and woods of anywhere are scary enough, at least for most of us. How much more so,
Chris,
though,
I know.
when you come across something like this? These staircases seem to come out of the ground, and most of the time they go so high up, they have so many steps to climb before the person reaches the top. It seems as though they may have found a literal stairway to heaven, at least to those of us who believe in that kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, on these...
Keep in mind, though, that's not at all what I think these stairs are for, though. But I'll save my personal
channels,
opinions and
Come
ideas
in the
until
comments.
later on in the
Don't
video.
post them
The next
here,
thing I
put them
thought
in
was
the
quite
comments.
interesting is that in the forest and woods,
Gemma
there's
likes to
dirt
check
and
them
leaves,
out
and
too.
at the very
So
least,
yeah.
some kind of dust or debris, right? I mean, we're talking about outside in nature.
Yeah,
in
these are
really
all
big woods.
recorded. This is
Of
both
course,
of
I
these are
mean,
3
that's
years
just
old.
common
Both the
sense.
ones we just watched are 3
However,
years old.
the reports of these stairways or staircases almost always have in common that these steps seem to
No,
be
this
spotless.
one's not. This
That's
is where
right.
she's
No
actually
dirt
home.
or
This is way
anything on a
before
single
that.
one of the stairs
About
themselves, and even the areas
a
surrounding it are more
year, about
clean than
2
normally
years
one would
before
see
that.
while out exploring. So not just the stairs,
About
it's
a
like
year
the
before that,
surrounding
maybe.
area
No,
has no
about 2 years.
leaves that fall from the trees in the
About a year and
autumn.
a half, 2 years.
Things like that. Much of the time, too, there's carpet, mostly red or white, and the carpet seems to always be in immaculate condition. It's pristine, absolutely spotless. Impossible,
Now,
I
I've heard
know,
of
but
them
actually
doing a
not,
Bigfoot,
because
but I
again,
haven't
and I
checked out the
reiterate,
channel.
I
Somebody
believe
else
most of the
brought that one
encounters
up
and
too.
take them as fact. I do.
Yeah,
Remember that in this
this was
community,
before
sometimes
that.
just belief in your own personal knowledge is enough to stand behind something and take
That's
it
when
as
I went
fact.
and visited her.
If you're
She
a
was there
skeptic or
twice.
non-believer, feel free,
First time not
obviously,
so
to
long.
take all of
Second
this
time
with
she
a
was
grain
there
of
for a little
salt.
bit. I
And if
went
you're
and visited
Indian
her like
Fae,
3
take it with a
times,
pinch
and
of
then we
salt.
went to Unity
There
together.
have been many reports coming in from other places around the world recently, too. It's not just in America and Canada's national parks anymore. There's quite a few encounter stories that come from deep in the actual jungles of other countries, far beyond the boundaries of where someone really should be exploring. Maybe this is why such boundaries are put in place, usually by one
it's
government
summertime, and
entity or another.
a lot of that.
Am I wrong?
I'm
here,
talking
though?
over her video.
I could be.
I hope I'm
If
not
you're from the
upsetting
part of the
people.
world that has actual jungles and have heard of the reports coming in from all
I
over
can
the world
address some of
about
that
the
after the
staircases
video
being
because
deep
it's not
inside of
very
them,
long.
let me know. Is
But
it
yeah,
the
I
government
talked to her
who sets
about
up the
that.
boundaries of these places? I asked to save myself the inevitable humiliation aimed at me in the
Oh,
comments
really,
from
Chris?
randos
Cool.
for getting something wrong and not knowing all of the answers.
Yeah, I like the
Anyways,
stairways and the
moving
forest
on,
stories because I've
I
actually
digress.
seen one.
These are places where not only is it
And
incredibly
I've
easy
noticed
to
a
get
couple of
lost and possibly
channels
not ever find your way back
talking
out
about
of,
these.
but also
But
where
some of those
nobody would
encounters,
dare
like she
use
said, she
scream
came across,
should you
were
happen
kinda-
to. It would be so much harder to find you as well should you be lost. Is it all a coincidence that these staircases are always found in places like this? They're always reported to have been found in places like this. I don't believe in coincidence, as most of you know. Especially in this line of work, it's like, sorry, no coincidences here. So that tells you my answer to that one. As far as I've been able to tell, this whole phenomenon started
My
sweeping the
links are
scary
clickable,
encounter
it
forums
looks
when a
like.
national parks worker took to a
Well, just
certain
put them in the cat and
online
in
site
the comments.
and started
They
telling
should-
of their bizarre and strange encounters
somebody
of
left
all
me
things
one in the
terrifying
comments,
in
and
the
I
woods.
had
I
no
recounted the
problem
encounter, which is allegedly
clicking
the
on it.
very
So-
first one in part of this series. Allegedly the very first one that was put out there.
If
on
you
the
have
internet
problems,
on
just
this
let me
forum
know.
Anyway. Mainly, though, this person spoke about the staircases and was
And
asking if anyone
some
else
of you
had ever come across
Vixen
them.
and
He even said, like, I don't care if you believe me or not. Have
Mayhem
you come
and
across something
Watro,
like
you
this? Like, he was
guys,
desperate to know.
I got to sit down with
The
her and write
response
down
was
names
shocking,
so she can
and
give you
it's
guys
still
wrenches,
one of
and
the
then
more
you wouldn't
highly
really have
debated
any
topics
problems
in the
leaving
paranormal community. Even the
stuff in
most
here.
gullible people
I mean, you
I've
can still
ever come
leave links
across
in the chat.
have told me that
I
I'm
believe they
insane
still
or
work, don't they,
reaching from
Chris?
believing
I
wholeheartedly
could be
in this
wrong.
particular phenomenon. So many people reacted and responded to
Oh,
this
it
one
didn't show
person's
up in
post.
mine,
It was
but it
almost
showed
like
up
took
on
the
my.
paranormal community by storm.
Let me try something.
With
It's not
each
going to let me
person
copy
being
and paste
incredibly
it.
surprised and shocked that they weren't alone in what they had come
There you
across
go,
and
folks.
or witnessed. Still, there
No,
are
it
more
won't
and
let
more
me
people
play
coming
it.
forward every single day.
It
I
didn't
can
show up
hardly
in
keep up.
StreamYard
Yet,
in
it's
your
still not the
YouTube,
most
but it
talked
showed
about
up in
topic
my
in the general
StreamYard
world of
now.
paranormal community and mainly stays in those message
But
boards
I don't
and
think you guys can
platforms.
click on it,
Not
or
all
you
of
can
the
copy
time,
it
mind
and
you,
paste.
but most of the time that's
I
where
don't know if
these
you can
reports
copy and
stay.
paste it off your
Like
screen or not.
UFOs in the woods or Bigfoot. Could these possibly
But
be
you should
something naturally
be
occurring
okay
in
to
nature?
post it in the
I know
link
that seems
in
like
the
a bit of a dumb
comments
question,
at the end of the
but
stream.
believe it or not,
Just come back
many
and do it when you
people,
can.
skeptics mainly, are saying that that's the case, that these stairways are naturally occurring. They're a natural force or a natural thing. Like
Yeah, they're
flowers
usually
growing.
blue. Okay.
I haven't heard anything
Now,
credible there.
Chris
Naturally
posted
occurring
one,
staircases in the
and
woods
the
that
one I
seem to
clicked
reach
on wasn't
higher than
blue.
we can even see, possibly right into the
The
heavens
one with
themselves, sometimes
the
covered with carpets and
dragon.
crystal clean of dirt and or any debris. Nah, I'm sorry, bro. That's some Kool-Aid this girl can't swallow. People who have witnessed them claim that they felt an overwhelming sense of dread, or at the very least, they somehow just knew that these things were bad news and not to be messed with. Many people have reported climbing them, though it was never a pleasant experience. Some people even reported getting an evil vibe off of them. I said in my last video that I was
amazing.
annoyed because of the fact that the people who reported climbing them all said that they ran back down, for the most part anyway, after attempting to climb all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Reports vary from it being extremely quiet halfway up to
Oh,
the
wait,
top
that
to
showed
hearing
up.
murderous screams and being forced to turn and run. There isn't a lot of detail there, though. The silence is creepy, okay, but is it enough to give up and run away? In my opinion, no, but that could just be what I'm doing for a living here. I would do everything I could to get to the top because I think the answers lie there, and I also think there's way more than just one answer to be had as well. Do we know how deep into the ground they even go? Forces are also said to practically shove the person climbing back down if they are getting too close to whatever it is at the top, whatever it is that wants to stay hidden from us. Whether it's a naturally occurring phenomenon, a stairway to heaven itself, or something altogether
That was
different
weird.
and out of
My
this
phone's
world.
doing weird
This is where I
stuff.
wanted to start with encounters, but it seems as though finding more than the handful I recounted in the last video I did is almost impossible,
1:15 in
at
the
least
morning.
ones that I find to be credible and true. So let's talk some more about this phenomenon in general terms. It can never hurt to have too much information or to be too well informed if you should ever come across something like this or any of the other
Yeah, really big.
phenomena
What kind
I
of
speak
person
of
really
all throughout
does
this
that? It's
channel
messed
and
up.
other
This world.
places. Another thing that's happening in these reports
It is
people
literally
are
now
saying
good
whether
versus
they claim
evil.
to climb the stairs or not
And a fight for
have been
ourselves.
missing
Is
some
how I say it.
time. Most of the time, this happens just by simply being in the general vicinity of these strange steps. A lot of people liken this phenomenon to being abducted by aliens. This happens far too often in reports of even encountering extraterrestrials. So, essentially, just like with the people encountering the stairs, it seems as though this is a very common occurrence, which is directly linked to coming across or even just being aware of these structures. Another person who climbed up a staircase similarly reports that the walk up the stairs was normal. However, at the top, they began to see things in the trees. They said that someone with a dark, lean face and round black eyes was staring at them from inside the foliage. This hiker only caught a glimpse of the face before it disappeared, and the hiker quickly ran back to the bottom of the staircase. I still get confused when people mention what they saw at the top. Is this the very top of the staircase? I mean, this, again, has yet to be fully explained. It also happens quite often that a person will come across a particular set of stairs in the woods, and for whatever reason, should they think to get some pictures or even to take some video of it,
I use Google Lens to see the link. Oh, nice. Thank you, Nightmare. Nightmare's around. You know your link's going to get posted. So there you go. So if you got links, let Nightmare know. And that guy will post. They'll post them for you.
And extremely rare
Thank you,
cases
Nightmare.
of alleged photos being taken. They are blurry or quite
I
obviously
wanna go
belong
do
to an
that now.
explainable structure, probably from a
Check it
building
out
or something
real quick.
long ago.
Ooh.
Also, if for whatever reason the person doesn't have a cell phone or other recording devices on them at the time of running into the
Yeah, I
steps,
love
when they go
face
back with the recording
So-
device or
so does
just going
Gemma.
back in general to show someone else or see it again, there's nothing there. Then people who claim to have had the presence of mind to have marked the exact spot and coordinates of the staircases they claim to have found on a map say that when they go back to get the proof they need, the stairs are mysteriously gone. Do we only get one shot at seeing them? I suppose
That's
only
the
time will
truth,
tell.
Chris. That's
One
the
more
truth.
thing I want to talk about before ending this video is theories. And boy, do they run the gamut and don't they abound.
YouTube must not like your
this
comment,
subject
Chris,
as
because
well.
they didn't put it up.
Many people believe that these are simply tales of people with big imaginations coming across man
See what I mean?
stairways, which are there for
So,
whatever reason
how
in
you
the middle of
doing?
some random woods somewhere.
Hold on,
And they're letting these imaginations, these huge imaginations they have, just run wild. They will point you to the aforementioned fact that there isn't any documented proof that these structures actually exist, except to say that, again, they belong to structures built for whatever reason long ago. Also, they say these stories originated on the section of this particular forum for made-up stories meant to spice up the night of people who are home alone and trying, but to no avail, to get some shut-eye. However, if you really take a look at these encounters, at least any of the ones that I feel are credible, any of the credible ones, you'll see the attention to detail is far too much for these to simply be tall tales of an overactive imagination. They're just too detailed to be dismissed so easily. And again, it's just my opinion, but I would think it foolish to dismiss them at all. Like people do with Bigfoot or they do with UFOs. And now our government is even saying, at least in the United States, that UFOs exist. So aren't you foolish to have dismissed them for all these years? I'm not calling anyone stupid. I'm just asking a question. Could these stairs have been built as pulpits for occult ceremonies? Maybe, at least in some cases. I mean, we are just theorizing here, so I believe nothing could be completely thrown out as far as what's going on. The main thing I keep coming back to, though, is the overwhelming sense of dread the people who come across them always without fail report.
Yes, that's very true.
Even most times before they even set sight on the stairs. It even happens before they know what they're looking at once they do realize what they are. And also, why can't they ever seem to be located the second time around, or the third, the fourth? There have been some other more paranormal theories about the stairs. Some believe that the staircases are most likely gateways to another dimension or even to hell itself, which to me as a Christian doesn't make sense because hell is below, not above. But you never know. I mean, what if there are realms and dimensions up there that are hellish? Or what if hell is just another realm? I don't know, guys. This is getting crazy, right? However, one of the more popular
you guys can't hear me, right?
Who publicized her thoughts in a blog post. She claims to have psychically explored several of these staircases. Allegedly, there is a clear energy shift near the staircases, and that getting close to them with her mind causes her emotions to become numb. According to the blog, the staircases are used as locations for alien abductions. She says that the stairs serve as portals through the many layers of Earth so that aliens can take their victims away and experiment on them. According to her, this is why the staircases are so often spotted by search and rescue personnel looking for missing people. I would love to find one of these things in the woods to see if I can get a hold of him about doing it. I don't know about portals, but one time Steve and I were discussing this phenomenon. He said to think of the steps that come out of the side of the airplane and what they're for. They're to come down off the plane or craft once it's landed. So, is this what we're dealing with here? Landings for UFOs. In my humble opinion, each and every one of these theories is credible in its own right, and even somewhat reasonable, as we are dealing with something not only very new,
I love the stairways in the forest because
who's to say
after my incident,
can't or should or
and then
not
out.
What do you guys think?
Going back to see
Let
if
me know
we're
in
still
the comments
there.
below. Guys, please be sure and give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed hanging out with me. If you enjoy talking about theories about staircases in the woods, I don't know, just if you had a good time, and to do me the favor. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you are subscribed, hit that notification bell and spread the love by sharing this video. If you would be so kind as to check out the description box, there you will find links to my Wednesday night live Oracle reading.
I'm going to shut it down here.
At 7:15 p.m. Eastern time.
Because now her live streams are on Fridays.
Time, where anyone who comes into the chat, first come, first serve basis.
I don't know why it goes to a big screen like that. There we go. All done with those. I didn't get it. For some reason, it didn't show up, Uso. Here's my email, Uso. You can email me. And just email me that. Because it didn't show up in chat for some reason. It didn't even show up in my StreamYard, which is even weirder. Oops. You don't have to use capitals. I'm still in capitals. Let me get out of capitals. I guess they used to doing that from being on Friday nights. There you go, sir. And just send it to me. And that way you can yell for me anytime, too. Yeah, thank you. I missed some of your guys' conversation. But I'm glad you're doing okay, so thanks for coming in. You're becoming a regular. Love it. Yeah, I missed his morning show. I was working, so it's been higher, so I try to get everything done early. And it's still nasty, even though we have dropped down. I mean, it's pretty wild that Mayhem's actually cooler than we are. We're still at 79. A really nasty 79. Oh, you will be for a while, Mayhem. Just take it slow and easy. Don't push yourself. Leah, there will come a time when you'll know when you need to start pushing yourself, because that's important too, not to be afraid to, try something different every day to get yourself back in your routine. But wait till the doctor says, "Hey, okay." It's nasty muggy here. Now, where you at again? You're up north, aren't you? Yeah, you guys have had some wild weather too, Al. Sounds good. Russo, sounds like a plan, man. All good. Yeah, because I need to go home and let him know. I'm not one to sit around driving. It drives me. I don't like to sit around either. Actually doing these streams, my streams and Gemma's, probably the longest ever stream. But man, when I'm done, you should see me. I'm all over the place. And I don't think people realize I'm sitting here doing 1,000 miles a minute. So that's why you see me disappear sometimes during oracles, is I have to get up and move. Last night I was eating. I really screwed up the screen last night. I actually dropped a piece of pizza crust on my screen, on my keyboard. And I was trying to eat because pizza didn't come until after the stream. It took 2 hours to get a pizza, which really upset me, which is never the case here. So I was trying to get something in my belly during stream, at least something. It was starting to growl. An hour from South Michigan. Oh, okay. Squatchuan, that's right. The tornadoes. Yeah, you guys may have some good juicy weather coming up. And the last couple of days, that area, that northern area has gotten up above Michigan's gotten some serious weather. You guys got some in that area, got some serious winds go down like we did here. I can't talk. Thank you, sir. So you have to forgive the way I say your name. I just don't. There's certain things I just can't pronounce yet, and R is one of them. And I know Al. I mean, the weather everywhere has been just. I think we're tilting again. We're wobbling really good. The Earth is wobbling really good, and it's doing real big wobbles, and I think that's also messing with the weather. A lot of electrical interference going on right now. If anybody watches Mr. MBB333, he's been on this kick about flashing lights. Like people are, thousands of places are like at nights, lights flashing and clicking on and off. It's wild. It's near Rochester, Indiana. Yeah, I just went through Indiana last week, the other weekend when I went to go get my daughter from Kansas. When she came back, I took a bus out to her because she's on base. That's her husband's the one's over near Iran right now. And so she got the news on the way home. That's what my phone was going. I was checking my phone earlier because now she's on the road and then finds this out. So she's kind of, bless her heart. So we went through, and then I took a bus out to her, and then I rode back with her. He was trying to get word about show in the morning. He was trying to get word about show in the morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, I don't think she does it. She goes to a church. So she said she would love to do it if he could do like an 8 o'clock show, which I know you guys he's a couple hours behind. So if he could work with that, she could do maybe a little earlier because Sunday's her day. She doesn't have to deal with the boy. But I needed to get a hold of him, so I'll get a hold of him and kind of touch base with him and let him know the parameters. Yeah, she's at the base. She was on the Big Red One base. And Junction City. I even have my pass hanging on the refrigerator. That new movie Twister was off the wall for me. Would have been better for the one character to be the daughter. Yeah, I totally agree. My son liked the movie. I like the original. I've only seen bits and parts of the remake. Well, the whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna have to sit down and watch it because people say it's worth the watch. I was at Fort Wayne for my bypass. That's about an hour from us too. Wow, I know where Fort Wayne's at. Close, yeah. So I drove through back and forth. Actually, I didn't mind taking a bus. It was just too expensive to fly out. And I couldn't see going straight to Kansas when I had to have a layover. Every flight I was looking at was a layover either in Cleveland or Detroit or somewhere. It was like, why? I can get a bus. Yeah, we have stops. But I only paid $170 for the ticket. And it was worth it. I mean, it was a little hard. I took a night. I went at night. I didn't leave until like 2:30. I got there at noon the next day with all the stops and everything. It was only one time we fell behind, and that's because we hit one heck of a storm going out. But I didn't mind it. And I still got to see I like driving because I like to look at the scenery. Usually I'm driving, so I don't get that pleasure. So it was kind of nice to be the passenger and be able to hang out the window look out the window and just relax. Bus wasn't very busy. We had a kind of a full bus until we hit St. Louis. Then pretty much from St. Louis out, I think the most that was on the bus was maybe 10 people at one time. And then by the time I got to Junction City, there was just like 4 of us, maybe 5. I think there was a guy sleeping in the back. I bought a bracelet from Raw Black Terminite. I can't wear it at work. It glitches the cash register out. Oh, really? I haven't seen it yet. My first father-in-law took me to see the original for your birthday. Have you ever looked into the base in South Alberta? That place has a dark history. No, but I've heard stories, and now that I know you're talking about the one in Alberta. But I'm going to write that down because that actually might be something Gemma might want to look at. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going through my head now. Yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. She might want to, that might be actually a good one to talk about too. Got it. My spelling, I have to look. I have to double check myself. Got it. All right. He may be up now. He doesn't sleep much. Yeah, I know he's a lot like me. So I've actually heard of people's crystals, bracelets messing with stuff. It's not, it's not uncommon actually. It came out the day after your birthday. We're going to go see Superman on July 8th. I got early screening for it. So I'm taking Pops, and me and Giles are going. Watch it on the big screen. I'm a big comic book guy, anime guy, so I'm excited. I'm hoping it's good. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I've been staying away from all the trailers and stuff. I like to be surprised. Yeah, St. Louis was definitely an interesting bus stop. That's for sure. Dixon, you sure you don't have an implant from an extra dimensional or extraterrestrial encounter? No, but Uso, she's had her encounter with a skinwalker for real. I didn't know if you knew that. Vixen has a great encounter. Well, I shouldn't say it's great, but it's a tense story. It's pretty neat. It's an intense movie, mayhem. They show a lot of people getting sucked into tornadoes. Yeah, that's for sure. Some guy sets off fireworks in a tornado too. Yep. Yeah. Actually, Al, I don't know if you knew this. Now, my dad just found out, but in 78, was it 78, 79? It was up until 80 because I was also fighting at the time. I used to storm chase, tornado chase. Actually, I saw it on Discovery, and then somebody said they saw it on the Weather Channel, an old footage of me holding an old camera, and I'm literally running. The only reason you know it's me is because my hair. I was wearing a misfit, not a misfit jacket. I was wearing a blue jean jacket. And people knew who it was, knew I was doing it, knew that I was doing it. And I'm literally chasing the tornado, running up to the tornado, trying not to get too close. And that was in Indiana. And then there's footage of me, I think, in Kansas too. But I never got to really stay in any of those places and do any sightseeing. I've had good food while we were out. But those were the days. I'd do that, then come home, work up an answer and then go back to doing that, then come home, do a couple fight rounds. Those were the days. All that money just I had too much fun. Oh, the 80s sucked all my money. Yeah, I call my dad Pops. That's what I call him. I call him Pops. I love natural stone jewelry. I do too. Certain materials do not get. But there was the first time when we really messed with stuff so strongly that I had to take it off. There's some YouTuber that chases tornadoes. There's a couple of mom. A lot of those guys show up on Max Velocity and Ryan's channels. I always was fascinated with them. Now I'm pretty scared. Actually, when we went, it's different chasing them. I've seen it. I think what made me stop was we watched a huge. It was probably an F3, and that was in Missouri. And we literally stood and watched the town get devastated. It came so fast, they barely got time to get the sirens off. And it was, I was in tears, just wanting. And when we got there, it was a mess. We were trying to help people. And when I went home, I never went back. It just tore me up. I felt bad. It was like, I'm trying to help people. We're studying these things. These people were studying these things. Everything that we record all went to, other guys and stuff. It sucked. We couldn't get. There was no way to warn them. It just happened so fast. I mean, the sirens go off. No sooner the sirens was off, it was on them. So, and I think almost all of us stood there, just cried. And then as soon as it went through, we all jumped back in the vans and started helping with cleanup. Yeah, the things I did that they didn't know I was doing. But they never bothered me. I had 3 other brothers. I was the quiet one. Well, my brother Mike's quiet, but 'Cause I worked all the time. I was the one with the kid that was always in motion, so they never just let me go because I was a lot happier if I just kept moving. Not brave, man. I had no idea what was going on until after it happened. Now, a lot of the case. Oh, you were talking about. I'm missing out on conversation. I gotta be careful. I didn't know about the walker. No, I'm a shapeshifter. I'm a cat person. Yeah, Vixen's an interesting lady. So my favorite right now is Fire Agate. It's so beautiful. I have quite a few raw pieces. I got some over here, some stuff over here. Gemma sent me. This is Orbison. You have to forgive my, like I said, my pronunciation, but it's really nice. Edna got this for me, and then Gemma got me this. This is one of my favorites. And then Erisha sent me a real nice, but I have it hanging in my car because I use it as a protection of my car. But this is, try to get to the flat side. This is really pretty. I like this. And I wear this quite a bit. I wear both. And then, like I said, I have a couple that I hang in my window on my mirror, where it's in my mirror, hanging on my mirror, my rear view mirror. I keep them in there. I even got a traveling stone in there. So I'd say on some of the pieces she sent me, this is one of my favorites. I'm going to take them and have them. I'm going to get a rock tumbler and clean these up. Some petrified stuff. And of course, excuse me, guys, didn't mean to do. It's hard with the lighting I have. I got these two little ones too. I like a lot too. This one I like. I like to have a bigger one of these. That's really, I like this one. And then this one I like a lot. It's got some really nice color to it. Yeah, Gemma sent those to me. I just found out that the Indian Caverns over by us now has crystal digging, so you can go and actually dig now for stuff. Yeah, that's the problem I'm having right now. My allergies are like really going to town. I've taken an allergy medicine, ain't doing nothing. But yeah, she sent me a bunch of stuff. I really like it. Like this. This one's a good one. This one's pretty nice. I'm still learning all the names to all these, so you have to be. You're not a wimpy. You're a lot stronger than you know. And then Arisha sent me this. I love this. Dragon's head. This one's really cool. I almost bought one like this at Unity for myself. It was like a whole dragon, but they wanted a fortune for it, so I passed. And of course, I got these. Ooh. Trying to get the glare off of it, it's kind of hard. See, this is a nice one. I like this one. And then I got a small one. Yeah, I'm still learning all the names. You should hit that with a UV light drag. Ooh. I'm going to have to get one. I had one, but my son broke it. He dropped it. I'll have to do that. That'd be cool. I never even thought about that, Al. Thank you. The blue one and a white one. Yeah, that one. This one. Which one were you talking about? Oh, this? The dragon head? Are you talking about this one? Yeah, I really like this one. Orisha sent this. This is Lotus's twin sister that sent me this. She's a spiritualist. I like this. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I will. I've been looking at them anyway, so get me a new one. You can? I didn't know that. I'll have to do that later. Check it out. I did not know that. Oh, it doesn't? Okay. I'll go get a good one because I had a nice one. I actually used to use it in hotels. But yeah, I'll definitely get a new one and check that out. I never even thought about that. She gave me a list. Oh, on those? Okay, I will. But she gave me a list of all the names. I'm still learning them. I always said, oh, pretty rocks. No, they're incredible. No, they're this, they're that. But now I know. Maybe the bottom of a smartwatch. I don't do the smartwatch. Heck, my iPhone is an older one anyways. I wouldn't get anything fancy. I don't use half the stuff on this. I really don't. My son has a smartwatch. Yeah, I was thinking it probably wouldn't be the same. I need a new one anyway, so I'll just go get a new one. But I will check that. I never even thought about that. I don't know if you've seen this out, if it will show up. It's a dragon. It's a dragon. Gemma sent me that. You You had one like that and it seems to have taken a walk? Really? I like rose quartz. Oh, honey, if you're feeling rough, to relax, rest. You don't have to stay up with us. I'm probably going to call it here pretty soon in a little bit anyways. I didn't realize it was already almost 2 o'clock, right? Yeah, it's 1:45. I'll probably call it at 2. I got to get up in the morning and trim the yard so the son can cut it. And me and the old man can go garage sailing. And I got to go to the store. And then come back and play some games with Gemma. And maybe stream if I can get up as soon as I text Nighthawk. I'm going to email Nighthawk. No, you're fine, honey. You're fine. You're not offending anybody. I'm glad you're just hanging out and relaxing with us. You are perfectly fine. Yeah, I know, hon. I don't rest too well either. It's very nice. Dragons are cool. The waving. I can't always forgive me. And has always been a favorite guardian of the Black Rose. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Actually, Gemma got it for me from you guys. But yeah, I love that thing. And in the stream, if you can see all of it, kind of it's really cool in the background like that. But unfortunately, it puts a glare on my glasses, so I can't leave it on too long. It kind of messes. I get an insight. Yeah, she sent me this to another dragon. And then I went over there and she sent this guy. I like the stone on this too. That's a pretty nice stone. I also have my Godzilla's up here with the dragons too, but I consider Godzilla a dragon. In a lot of ways, he is a dragon. He's the king of all dragons. No, you're all good, Mayhem. You're all good, honey. I'm collecting palladiums representing my animal spirit. Ooh, that's neat, Vixen. My dragon one is dragon fruit quartz. Ooh, it's a handsome stone. Ooh, a handsome stone. Send me a picture of that, Vixen, when I email you. You're all good, hon. Relax. Enjoy the night. Like I said, I'll probably call it about 2 o'clock anyways. I didn't realize we were going for 3 hours here. But we get to talking. That's what happens. And I'm good with that. That's what it's all about. I have done Dragon Bane beats. That stuff looks real cool. Ooh. I like to see that. You got pictures. Send the pictures. That sounds like cool. Al. I'm really, really getting appreciated. In fact, like I said, I live next to the old Tangy River, and I have a creek just one street over. This neighborhood is an interesting, old neighborhood. A lot of people are now realizing that Worthington was Ohio's first capital. Then it became Chillicothe, then Columbus. But this area's got some history. I found slugs. We found all kinds of stuff. I want to go get a metal detector. I can only imagine what we'd find. But anyways, I want to get one of those tumblers, stone tumblers, because some of the stuff I find down the creek is pretty amazing. I go with a young. When we were kids, I had just one buddy. Every time I picked up stone, he'd look at it and take off with it and put it in his pocket because I'm keeping that one. He was that kid that collected every rock he thought was cool. I think he's a jeweler now, to be honest. I do have pictures. Cool. Post them or send them to me. I put my email in chat. And it was on my page. If you can't find it, just let me know. You can send them to me or we'll hook up either on Facebook or somehow. I do like your AI stuff, and I actually like to learn how to do that. Or find out the programs you guys are using. Hopefully a bit. Yeah, unfortunately, Vixen, sometimes a picture doesn't do stuff justice. I agree there. I learned all that in junior high in class called Ohio History Ghost. Yep. Yep. I screenshot the email, so I will. Cool breeze. Now you have a way to get a hold of me. Yeah, I've just been going crazy. I'm still trying to catch up on YouTube stuff and other stuff from a week ago. It's like Moggs and Stevie B. A lot of times on Tuesdays and Thursday, I just have them on in the background and I'm working. Sometimes I sneak in and say hi. Sometimes I don't. I just listen to them in the background. I think I know about Buckeye, Bigfoot, and a couple of these other ones because a lot of them come on Monk's channel, Mongolian Monsters channel, in his stream and talk. Him and Long Island Bigfoot and all them. And this incident wasn't that long ago, actually. Maybe 3, 4 months, maybe 5 months ago. She's pretty healed up now. She's still having some issues. Like Friday night, she was in here. She was in oracles, and she was hurting. That's another thing, Mayhem. I didn't know if you know that Gemma does her oracles on Friday night from 7:15 to about 10. Sometimes we've been stopping early, depending on how big the crowd is. But yeah, she was in last night, and you could tell she was hurting. She was feeling the pain, but a lot. She's like us. She's had back work and neck work and stuff like that. So, the weather also messes with us. It's like her and my pop right now are probably in the same kind of boat with, the swelling and stuff. And it don't help afterwards when you've been through something like that. So I'm hoping she's resting, but she stays pretty active. I mean, I believe her grandson or her son just graduated, so she's all proud. He's off. He's a smart young man. He's gonna make him proud. Oh, I know that feeling, Mayhem. Unless you buy one of those professional photographers use that one, use that one, incredibly expensive. Man, really? Yeah, the camera lens isn't the same, but it's funny, it's not. But yet, have you ever noticed cameras pick up stuff that we don't see? But yet it can't pick up the stuff that we want to see. Yeah, it's usually bad at night for a lot of people. Yeah, it amazes me and then it's like, I wanted to catch a picture of this black-eyed kid I see all the time in the hospital. I literally chased him around for 20 minutes. So I chased him around as long as I could. Trying to take pictures of this thing. And when I think I'd get a good picture, there would be nothing there. It's like, how come when you want a good picture, you can't get one? But when you don't want a good picture, something happens. It never fails. But then again, that's paranormal for you. A lot of times that happens when you least expect it. Yeah, I'm trying to dig up a picture. I thought I had it on my computer, but I'm afraid it might have been my old computer, but I do have it on a disc. And we had a tree a few years back, that from the neighbors behind us fell on the house next door, which were good friends of my parents. And I watched it happen. It was like a little derecho came through and it wasn't a bad day, just the wind, and the tree just fell on the house. Well, I was over taking pictures. And in the one picture, there was a blur above his house, and then it was gone. And then I come to find out it landed on his garage, and a big, huge branch. He was standing in the garage, missed him, but like that much. And I'm wondering, was that an angel that might have been watching over his house? So I'm trying to find a picture because I had 3 in a row where there was nothing, then there was something, then it was gone. And I kept it. But I'm trying to find the disc. I've been going through all my stuff because I've moved so much. And then when I moved back in here to help Pop, you're not a whip. Quit apologizing, please. You're fine, Mayhem. Relax. You're all good, hon. Just relax and enjoy yourself. There is a woman on Etsy who puts together some beautiful baloney. Got 2 of hers already. Got to make notes of the artists and what kind of stones I have. Oh, that's cool, Vixen. My stepdad had kidney issues last year and could have died if he waited longer to go to the hospital. Yeah, unfortunately, kidneys. If people don't realize, you start feeling that problem. That's like heart, and you don't mess around. You go get help. Yeah, that stuff. I hate getting old. I don't mind it. I kind of earned the gray, but see, a lot of this was with me since I was 12. So I need a new crystal show and tell page. That would be cool. You do that, let me know. I'll check it out. Because like I said, I'm still learning all this. I mean, she literally, every time she sends me something, she sends me a card with everything on it. And I'm trying to figure, sometimes she doesn't tell me which stone is which is fine. Because that's the whole process, is me trying to figure it out and learn. I'm starting to get the evening hair now. Yeah, they're no joke. No, they're not. Especially if you're a drinker. My stepdad, and he's got back to his old son. That weakened my stepdad a lot, and he's not. Yeah, well, when you have major health issues like that, like what Mayhem's going through, Edna's going through, it takes a lot to really get yourself back, and you're really never the same. You're really not. He isn't a drinker. I'm just saying, if you were a drinker, it could be even more deadly when you start having kidney issues. But I'm glad he's not. And my dad, he's not. But man, he's 92 years old. I don't know how he's done. Especially with us 4 boys. Everybody said he'd go first. Man, I told everybody Mom would go first. She smoked 2 cartons a week. Her mother, or her aunt, who was her, took her in after her mom passed, told her after she had my brother Mike, if you want to lose that weight, drink coffee and smoke cigarettes. Just those days. He thought it was a back issue. Yeah, a lot of times people do, because that's where it starts, is in the back, in the lower back. That's what worries about me with Dad sometimes, but he was never a drinker, but his age. And then if you're on, and then you start adding other issues like diabetes and stuff to it, makes those issues even more intense. So it takes a lot, and then you get through it. Yeah, you're not the same. I don't mind a drink once in a while. I'm not a beer guy. If I'm gonna have a drink, I'm gonna have a drink. It's usually, vodka or something. And I'm not a big drinker. Never was. Childbirth isn't anything to sneeze at either. Oh, I know that. My youngest boy and his mother, when he was born, they both flatlined on me. They were having problems, and they were just getting ready to come in and do a C-section. They flatlined. I was yelling, "Don't you leave me with 2 girls. Don't you do it. I need you both." And next thing you know, they opened their eyes, and she didn't have to have a C-section. I don't drink either. Yeah, I'm not a big drinker. I mean, like I said, I go with people, and I usually end up being the designated driver, because I usually either drink coffee or I'm not even a pop drinker anymore, since they did all the work on my throat because I had Barrett's esophagus. So I don't even drink pop like I used to. I have one every so often. I get a craving for one. It's Gatorade or coffee, probably, which isn't any better. The coffee's probably no better, but I've been drinking coffee since I was 13, 14 years old, since I started working, especially at the restaurant. Yep, because I thought I was back injury. Yeah, a lot of people do, and then they blame other issues like fibromyalgia and stuff like that. Now I can see that. I had a friend that for a long time it was a back problem, and then he realized, oh, he's got kidney issues. Pop is your Coke. Good old Coca-Cola. Yes, I had a friend that was always had a Coca-Cola in his hand. My partner almost died 3 times since I've been with him. He had a heart attack a couple times, and then an infection by the heart that's what happened to me about 4 weeks ago, and I ended up in the hospital. I noticed the weekend before that I was swelling up, and I just figured I got into something. And then it just got worse and worse. Well, Tuesday morning I got up and I was like, holy crap, my face was all swollen. I was all swollen. And I was wondering what was going on. I wasn't feeling the best. Dad looks at me and goes, man, you're good, or go to the hospital. And I looked at Dad and go, I don't think I can drive. And I'll be fine. And by 3 o'clock, he had me calling the squad. I'm glad I did, because it turned out I had water tension, but it was caused by an infection. We had all had a respiratory infection, and it was starting to attack me. And it was going. Dad had it and didn't even face him. All he has now left over is from this really nasty cough, this like scratchy crap he gets in his throat. But it went straight from my lungs to my heart, and I maintained water and everything. I was in there for 3 days until they felt comfortable. Actually, I kind of begged them to let me go home because I was getting kind of bored, and they were like, "Okay, well, I'm sure if you have a problem, we'll see you again." That's when the head nurse came in and handed me the card. Apparently, that's one of the common deaths that can happen is the infection by the heart. Yes, and a lot of people don't catch it in time. You know, oh, I just got a respiratory infection, caught some kind of bug. That's how it feels at first. It felt like an extremely painful heart attack now. I've had 4 NDRs. Oh, NDEs, sorry. And I don't know why they kept sending me back. Well, actually, I know because I had some of those NDRs. I've had some very deep, wild conversations. I thought I was hallucinating the first time, and then I realized I wasn't. There is something after life. There definitely is something after life, at least from what I've seen 4 times. If then you should go into the ER. Then yeah, I had a battle with congestive heart failure. See, that's what they thought it was with me at first, was congestive heart failure. And I'm like, no, I take pretty good care of myself. Yeah, I gained a little weight because I gained a lot of weight because a while back ago, they had me on prednisone, and I blew up like a balloon. And I've been fighting to take the weight off ever since. Then I went to a bunch of surgeries, lost all that weight, and then the ding-dongs put me back on the prednisone. I fought it, but it was the only thing that was helping at the time. So I took it, and then got big again. Now I'm losing weight again. And my fighting weight was between 165 and 175. And I was just about there when I was going through the surgery. All I could eat was like cream of wheat and real soft foods. So I was able to slim down fast. Now I've been bouncing right now between 185 and 205. I mean, big bounces. But I think a lot of that's because the way I got sick. It's starting to maintain I noticed last week I've been averaging about 198. So it's coming off slowly. And I'm not a big eater. Using those big fancy words that I can't say. Yeah, that's one thing I like about our chat. Nightmare Chris. There's a few of them, and Latro, even Latro. Man, he comes in with some good info too, especially when it comes to health, because he's been through his health issues. You guys come in with the best information stuff that I don't. I can tell you about Tourette's and about my issues, but that's about all I can tell you about. I don't want to tell you about bone cancer because it sucked. Because I had wasn't rare version, but it was very uncommon. Usually, bone cancer eats the inside out, where mine was from the outside eating in. And I didn't want my kids going to a bone marrow transplant because the bone marrow test is painful. And I didn't want to put my kids to it, so I just let them slam the crap out of me with chemo. And it worked. So far, I'm still clean. So I must have something to do on this earth because I've been through a lot. And it's fine with me. Makes life a little more entertaining. Even pain does sometimes anymore. On the 25th, okay. I had to do a quick Google search because I couldn't remember the name. I copied and pasted. I'll tell you what, you and Nightmare, I love it. I love when people come in and do that stuff because I don't like to leave chat. I may go check out something post, somebody pops a link in the thing, I'll go check it out. Sometimes I do that for safety reasons too, but I love the information I get out of this room and other rooms. That's why I like going to chats. And a lot of times I just sit and listen. I'm an observer anyways. Doing these streams, I could do without them, but they become therapy. And I've gotten kind of into the information I get. I'm not as good as I used to be in my day talking. And you guys have been so pleasant. Everybody's been really cool about, there are days I know I sound like I'm mumbling or having issues. I'm messing still. And you guys have been great. I love it. That's the only reason I'm still here. And that and Gemma, because another reason I do this is for her, help keep her content, help her make some money. You don't make money off of YouTube like you used to unless you've been with them a while or you do something crazy to get the views. And there, speaking of Nightmare, pops in with his fancy. I can never get the hang of doing that stuff, Nightmare. God knows I've tried, but I love it. You and there was another person that used to come in one of the chats and do fancy stuff like that, and I think it's so cool. Yeah, my roommates think that too. So I might go in the morning if it's not better. Yeah, if you're not feeling it, you call them, man. Let's see. Our American healthcare, it's not bad, but it ain't great either. Now, I've heard mixed reviews about Canada's health care, so you could probably tell me better about that. Now, I'm lucky. I have Medicare, and I have a really good subsidized insurance with it. Buckeye, also known as Allwell. Man, those people have been fantastic. I even have a card. When you've been with them so long, you get a card. And you get like money for, doing doctor visits. They even have a doctor who comes out and checks, and a neurologist that comes out and checks on me. They pay for it, and I get reward for doing it. So I can use that card like on allergy medicine, Band-Aids, any medical items I need. They're nice. They actually sent me a box, which shocked me. They had nothing but fresh fruit in it and vegetables. I was like, holy crap. So when you look for insurance in America, especially if you're on Medicare or Medicaid, make sure you check your insurance company out because there are good ones out there. Unfortunately, it's the pharmaceuticals here that run the show a lot of times. Yeah, you should either go rest and relax if you're not already in bed, shut down for the night, and if you're still feeling crappy, you might want to go, hon. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, it doesn't with me. It doesn't cover the rent or anything, but it covers like allergy pills, anything that's medical related. Now I got kind of mad because I've been doing probiotics. And this time it wouldn't accept it. So I got to call and find out what they changed on that. Because my dad and my son, man, they have tummy issues. And we've noticed it helped. Yeah, my boyfriend went through the exact same thing. He almost died. He was in so much pain. Yeah, it's not pleasant. He had an NDE right after they took him. We had a few. Actually, I basically died all the time. Everybody kind of gives me crap because it went like 10, 20 minutes. I think my longest one was, all of them I was declared dead. And for some reason, all the people, well, the one time, I can't say that because it was in a car accident. The only reason I knew I was gone was because I was standing looking down on the accident. And then all of a sudden I came to. Anyways, the other ones, from what I understand, it was like somebody waited a bit, and then they decided, oh, let's hit him again. Last time was because of medicine. I tried an experimental drug for the Tourette's. My son found me in this chair, slumped over, turned blue. I still haven't had to tell him that when the paramedics got here, I was already gone. They just didn't want to tell anybody because I have a clause with all the hospitals that they're not to tell anybody anything unless I give them permission. Well, they shouldn't anyways. But yeah, I think my dad. But other than that, Pops knew. And I don't even think he really knew. They didn't know when I went and had my neck done. I woke up in the middle of surgery. I had my neck all spread open. They were replacing all these cervix. And I woke up rocking, and the doctors were all like wide-eyed going, you awake? And I said, yeah, what's going on? Why am I hurting so bad? And they're like, no. So they started to open me back up. And next thing I know, I wake up to flash of light. Well, there was a lot of stuff going on in between that, but I basically came to with a big flash of light. And I sat up, noticed a big old needle hole in my chest where they hit me with their drone. He goes, Steve, you were gone for like 7 minutes. We were about to declare you dead until the nurse goes, give it another shot. He says, she's my angel. Yeah, I love the information. Statin and vitamin D3, they both, no cost for me. Yeah, see, I have medicines like that too that I don't, I pay a certain amount in about usually in a couple months. I don't have to pay for them anymore. But my prescription, I think my most expensive medicine is a Tourette's medicine. I don't like to take. It's like an emergency medicine. And with the insurance, it's like $30. It's like my dad's insulin. Crap. See, I almost got that crap's expensive. It's a shame. Oh, excuse me again. Oh, it's always good when, with Nightmare. It's always, and Chris, I love when these guys come in and drop information, especially if they're listening in the background and they hear something like, oh, I can give them that. So I love that, Al. Vixen's good at it. And they even does it. There's a lot of them that come in and do it. And I love it when people do that. Glad to be able to share with her. No. It's always good when you got information you know it's going to do something. Isn't it, Al? Yes, it's a good feeling. Hey, I can help you. I got this information here. Here you go. I love that. What time we got, folks? Probably after 2, right? 17 after 2, after I said I was going to call that 2. I'm going to call it, folks. I got to get up in the morning. I'm getting kind of hungry. I got to eat a midnight snack. Well, 2 a.m. snack. Pace a little bit before I try to lay down. You folks have a wonderful, wonderful night. Thank you for a wonderful evening. All you ladies tonight. I had a ladies' night tonight. And the gentlemen, thank you, Nightmare. Thank you, Latro. Thank you, Uso. And thank you, Uso, if you're still listening. I will get a hold of him tomorrow. And thank you so much for the email. Who else did I miss? Uso. And then you ladies, Mayhem, Al, Vixen. All the people sitting in the background, thank you for joining us tonight. I really do appreciate it. I hope everybody has a wonderful Sunday and a good start to the week. Gemma does have 11 a.m. premiere with chat. She won't be live, but it'll be an upload with live chat at 11 a.m. Monday morning. That's ET time. Come join me. I'm usually there. Sometimes she tries to make it, but now that son's out of school, it'll be hard for her because she could try to work too. So, I mean, she'll get rid of him a couple of days a week because she'll be going to a day camp. But yeah, it's only 12:18 there, but it's 2:18 here. So we're 2 hours behind. You're 2 hours behind me. That always messes with me. It doesn't, going to Kansas didn't bother me, but when we go out to Colorado with the ex to see her grandparents, because her grandparents lived in Estes Park, where the Stanley Hotel's at. I've spent my nights in that place. Estes Park is a cool town anyway. Anyways, because I need to get on. It was there. Going any farther than 3 hours always messed with me. I don't know why. When I went to Japan, I had jet lag for like 3 weeks. Everybody have a wonderful week. It's always good to see all you folks. I'm glad we had kind of a lady night. Utso, thank you. You may be up. I've been scrolling, so I'm way off. I was trying to make sure I got everybody. But all you folks watching, have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful Sunday. Please take care of yourselves and each other. I'll see you on the flip side. Much love. I'll be here Wednesday at 10 for spooky time. Take care. My email's in there, so if you ever need anything, give me a yell. Love you guys. Have a good night.